say about that. Oh boy, there he is.
Right.
I already saw him today. I thanked him for all the food, right? Because I've been taking all his food.
Oh,
right?
because he doesn't come in.
He gets a dish and he doesn't come in, and I take all his protein. So I have to thank him for that. All right, guys, and thank you guys for joining us. Obi and I, same bat time, same bat channel. Joey is off tomorrow. Take care, guys.
What a surprise! Joe's off one more day, so we'll say that, and we'll save that for it's good. Why did you open up just on me like that? This is like so dramatic that it's on me right here, but. Yeah, I know Neil's going to be doing. We're going to be doing a little bit of a lesson here quite soon. But yeah, enjoy your day off there, Joe. And I'm sure. Oh, my mic is having static issues. Okay. You know, people's elbow on the mic. Right. See, let me know if that's any better. I'll put this in my ear, and you guys can let me know there, Andre or Tiffany, how it's okay. We're getting a battery change, but hey, in the meantime, let's just put it on my screen, and I can talk a little bit about this. We still are long NVIDIA, man. I mean, this is the only name that we've traded all day here, and it was a tough one as it fell through, and then now we back right up to the upside, so we are trying to hold on to a little bit of NVIDIA. Are we switching the battery? Okay, here she comes now with another one. But that's NVIDIA right there. And what a nice day it's been on a nice recovery battle here for SpaceX. So as you can see, SpaceX now at the highs of the day. All right, bear with me. We'll do it live. We take it out.
Can't see me.
How are we sounding now with the new battery in there? You know, oh, it's worse. Great. This is working out absolutely fantastic right now. What has Ramin done to the mics is what everybody wants to know. Nice. I like the headband there, Ramin. Very, very nice. How's it going? Bear with us here as we try to work through it. Okay, Fabian has fixed it, Ramin, apparently. So we are, oh, great, thank you. Yeah, more microphones, that's great. Yeah, so we get ready to rock and roll here today with SpaceX, with NVIDIA, and it's all ahead of SK Hynix. But I heard because Joe's off tomorrow, SK Hynix may delay until Monday, but no, that's not gonna be happening. We are very, very excited for it. I was actually looking it up, and Neil and I will start talking about this in a little bit. But you know, the last major, I wrote down 3. I did a little bit of research here in the over the lunch hour there. Coupang was a big one. CPNG, that came out in March of 2021. That's another South Korean name, and that was $4 billion worth. So that's a pretty big one there. Coupang. Alibaba came out in September of 2014. I actually didn't write down the total. I just asked Gemini this. And then ARM came out on September the 14th of 2023. Those were basically the last 3 big lists there that were, you know, ADRs that turned around from, you know, a previous listing over into the US as they look for a little bit more capital. So we're very, very excited tomorrow to bring you the SK Hynix initial listing over there on the NASDAQ. That should be a heck of a lot of fun. But for now, guys, have you ever wondered how we build watch lists? Every day I put out the sticky note. We all put out our little report in our notes. It's called a watch list, and that's about as easy of a term as you're going to remember because you're trying to watch out for stocks. But hey, sometimes you spend hours building these watch lists and there's just to no avail. You go through and you say, you look back, hey, I've still picked the wrong stocks. And you're looking back, why wasn't this on my watch list? Why was this on my watch list? Well, Neil's going to go through right now some key aspects to how you can build a more successful watch list. This is the one thing that you need to pay attention to for your trading. It's all about preparation, and Neil's going to go over it right now.
The only 5-minute trading checklist you're going to need. Everyone's trying to build it. Everyone's trying to find the stock. Stop's going around. Start filtering out the names. Get ready to execute right away off of the open, everybody, because it is all about understanding the key things that'll whittle down that big list of hundreds of stocks to just a few. You're going to always see movers and runners. And there's a reason why here at Trader TV Live, Adair and the team have the free watch list in the morning. Most of the times they've got a catalyst. So when you're searching through your names, I don't care whether it's step 1, 2, or 3. You want to identify things with a catalyst. It could be earnings. It could be a new drug trial. It could be that a key investor, I don't know, maybe Michael Burry wants to short it. I don't know, but you want there to be some kind of a fundamental catalyst that you can sink your teeth into, and it could be related to a stock that has a catalyst. That's another way you got to think about it. So add that to your list. It's very important for sure. Key price levels. Now this one's really important to us, near and dear. We like a few things. Maybe it's near a new major moving average. Maybe a particular stock is going to be trading at a key price entry, like an IPO, all-time high breaks, support and resistance. Those types of things are very important. You want to take things that have gaps. If it's trading exactly where it was the day before, is that something that's going to make you interested? I don't think so. We want something in that 2 to 5%, 2 to 10% range, where you're going to have that opportunity for price action, trading somewhere new, getting new price action, getting people squeezed out of shorts, getting people taken out of longs, breaking those support levels. That 2 to 5 gives you a nice little window to understand as a minimum that they've moved enough. And then an important one, relative volume. None of this stuff matters if it's not drawing more attention than it was the day before. Our vol is going to give you that. Now, ideally, you want it over 2, but I'm going to show you why you just need to have 3 or 4 of these things be on. If one of them is, it's only an okay catalyst, but it's a banger on the other 3, that's perfectly fine. So, of course, Cerebras, our example today, it's got a catalyst to it. It was in our watch list. That's all that matters. We give it to you free. Is it in the news? Yes, that's what we love to see. Key support and resistance. If an IPO price isn't key enough, then holding that is going to be good. So it was there yesterday at the 180. You're going to see it off of that level, and then you can go right into, well, yesterday's range was important, bouncing off the IPO price. Look at the prior day top. So our gap, which we'll get to in a second, is already right up, breaking through that range from yesterday, which is already off of a key price level. So key support level, gapping higher, and giving you a trade already off key support and resistance. The gap identifier, 2 to 10% is what you're looking for. That's an easy one. You're talking about a close around 180. In the pre-market, it's already trading 5 points up, so that's going to be a banger. It's already filling all 3. So the fact the R vol is really just hitting over 1, that's good enough. Ideally, you're going to want this over 2, but given the profile and it's treating so tight into some key price levels, it's going to fit the bill. Now, the issue is you're going to have hundreds of stocks that you're looking through, and you're going to have to whittle it down. So why settle for second best? If only 1 or 2 of these things are being met, then you can throw it to the side. Most people are going to try to whittle it down to just a few names. You'll see Sean or myself, 3, 4 at the open that you are trying to trade. We're just talking about pre-market 9:30, what your eyes are on. Other things can happen during the day, but you want to be laser focused at the open. And you can see right here, when the market opens, it gives you 2 shots at that key price level. That's where you've got to be focused. Those are your 2 chances to get long. It hit all 4 of these key points, and this is what it's all about, everybody. We said it's the only 5-minute trading technique. We walked through all of these different metrics, the 4 ones. You can take hundreds, maybe not even 200. I'd say sometimes 300-400 stocks people are looking at, and you can get it down to maybe just 3 or 4 trades. This is going to take you minutes. Some people 5 minutes. I think it can take even less than that if you know what you're doing. And it's going to save you from jumping from stock to stock at the open. You know where you want to look because you've got the relative volume, you've got the gap move, you've got a catalyst, you know the price levels, and there you go. If it doesn't fit it, then you skip it and get out of here. Stop wasting your time, hit it and quit it, and then find only the best trades for you.
So here we go. Once you guys figure out your own pre-market watch list, why don't you just post it in the comments below? Neil and I will have a look at it, and we'll help you figure out your entries. Follow the rules. It's pretty basic. Put them in the chat. Put them down below in your comments, and we'll help you find out about your entries off of your own watch list. Thank you, Neil, for covering that. Very important. Pre-market preparation. Get those watch lists on point. And there's nothing more important, I think. And, you know, we talked about it today. I've only been trading NVIDIA. You have a few names. We see Joe and Sharif also there with just a few names on their watch so far today. And no matter what we think about different stocks, there's so many, as you indicated. You can get swamped with 500, 200 different names that's showing up on your scanner. Doesn't mean that they're all the appropriate names to trade on the day. And, you know, everybody's going to have different setups, whether or not it's, breaks like you were mentioning there, key levels, you're trading something off of news, you're looking at the closing prices, whatever, levels you're looking at, stick to it. And post it down there once the video's up.
That's the key.
Post it in your comments, in the comments below, and we'll have a look at it, and we'll try to help you out, find out some key levels, and join us every day at 8 a.m. First of all, I mean, you'll be able to see our pre-cured watch list, including free. If you click on the link in the description right now, you'll be able to get our watch list for free that is curated every single day, and it's done by Adara. So, and the whole family over here helping out with that. I'm going to show you what today's, just because Neil just did that, I might as well show you what today's watch list sort of looks like for us. And I mean, it was right into here. First of all, always important, we're doing this for you. The economic events, always important to see, is there anything coming out? Am I looking at home stocks when there's a home sales number coming out, Always want to make sure that you look at why is the volume moving on? These are trading higher, these are trading lower. Dig into why, potentially on earnings. Yesterday we had Levi's on earnings, and then we had, a big battle back today for the RAM names, right? So that's what's going on. And then here it is, multiple names on the watch, but which one are you looking at, And that's where you got to dig down, go over some of those filters that Neil had talked about there. SpaceX, pretty easy. Cerebras, PepsiCo. So, find the names with volume, find the names with good stories that are potentially moving in the pre-market. We do it all for you. And as I scroll down here, I'm doing this on purpose, different names. IONS, a name that might have not been talked about yesterday, but is hot today. AEHR there on news, right? Production from its silicon photonics. Fuel cell, we've been talking about that for a minute. There's always different names to look at every single day. So make sure you do check our watch lists out every morning and compare it with yours, and maybe you'll be able to find something that makes some sense, and, we can all profit a little bit together. And we're always looking for ideas, of course, in the chat. So if you guys have anything, let us know. And the big screen behind us has the live chat. We have the top tickers there. We can actually show that, Tiffany.
Well, I can tell you something. If we're looking for catalysts and we're looking for ideas, how about OGEN? Ooh. Ticker OGEN over on the NYSE American has now activated its phase 2A clinical trial in Australia with its first site fully operational and patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury. That's an area where there's currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. Focused now shifts to execution. With clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation, that is OGN over on the NYSE American. We're going to go up to the desk. Adara has something for us.
Okay. I just want to mention this because I put it in the chat during Neil and Sean's lesson, but I do want to bring it up now as the stock hangs out near high of days. It's Meta. META, there haven't been enough stories on this name yet today, apparently, because we did have Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta, saying that, quote, exploring the AI cloud business makes sense. Now, we know last week there were reports that this company was exploring that very business. Looks like Mark Zuckerberg is kind of hinting that that is something they're, in fact, doing. Back to you.
Okay, I mean, what a great day for Meta. I mean, I was literally throwing so much shade at it in the morning. And this is what I mean about, curating watch lists and trying to leave some of your emotions and even in your opinions sometimes out of it and just waiting to see, where the market goes from here. I mean, Meta in the morning was just, it started 7 o'clock, downside play there into 580. And then right when the market opens up, and this is why we talk about support and resistance levels and looking at pre-market levels, that bottom right there around 580 was made at 820. Battles all the way back to 584. So you're back down in there. That's 578. So that right there back up $6 or $7, then comes back in again, doesn't make the low again, blasts back up, and then right off the jump there, right off the open. We got some wicks down there below. I don't know, those might have been too quick. You might not have been able to act on them, but definitely looking to get long in and around that 580 using some of these lows as your routes. Now, you might have got taken out there, but that's why on a $500 name, you're going to have to, or $600 name basically, you're going to have to wait and give it a little bit of room, that is for sure. But as Adara was talking about it, exploring the AI cloud business makes more and more sense according to Zuckerberg. So yeah, a little late to the party, I would say. Exploring some of this cloud space, There's many big players in there already, and I think it's going to be interesting for them to do it. You're just going to get into a price race here and figuring out, who's the cheapest. Why would one company switch from Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud or Azure over into the depths of Meta's cloud? But you know what? Hey, different tools, different availabilities. I'm sure that, they're going to figure it out. They spent a lot of money trying to build up everything. And now we wait to see what's going on with Meta.
Better work.
Yeah, and it's up 2%. So we talked about their earnings is everything's within the next 6 weeks or so. So Meta's going to have to, prove and show us what that guide looks like. And, if it's worthy of a hold or a position in, many of our accounts. So I think everyone's probably stuck.
What makes it better than Amazon?
Yeah.
What makes it better than Alphabet? You got to answer those two questions. You could Microsoft as well. I saw some people saying, well, why not Microsoft? Why don't we ever talk about Microsoft? I don't know. Look at the chart. At the end of the day, we're back above 600. The stock has done nothing with the 600 level. Nothing. That's it. Like we keep doing this dance where, hey, it looks good. We're over 600 and oh, we fail. Hey, we're holding 600 and oh, we fail. Now we're back above 600 and are we going this time? Are we going? Like we keep going up to the line. It's like, we ready? No. It feels, you know what? Okay, so this skit from Chappelle's show.
Yeah.
Remember Fisticuff?
Which one?
It's the one where he's like, rapper Fisticuff.
Yeah,
and then the beat just comes on. He's
That's
like,
not the turn my
headphones up. And he keeps getting, and he never starts the rap.
He doesn't
going. Drop into the verse. He never gets going. Yeah. You get all psyched up. That's what Meta's doing right now. Now, could this be it? Maybe. But it's certainly cheap enough that if it breaks 640 and gets above the 200 and that's the place where you enter, it's not as if it's not still relative value compared to the S&P after it's done that. I just worry that if you're always bottom picking on this, you end up in a situation where it stays out of favor and then starts doing some ugly stuff. And I know I just mentioned Microsoft, but again, it's like the first thing that comes to mind is to pull up an uglier chart. And so it's nothing against Microsoft, it's just the first thing that came to mind. Then you get in this situation where it looks like the break, you're sitting there trying to always catch these longs or chase it up here, and it doesn't confirm, and the next thing you know, you're back at the low. So yeah, come on, Meta. I want to try to believe. I'd love to believe in you at this point. We got Oleg saying, what's going on with CoreWeave?
What's going on with Sharif's chair there that I just saw, by the way?
What's wrong with Sharif's chair?
No, it just came up on the screen there.
Oh,
I'm taking some Advil.
Because he had the fancy chair.
Something's wrong with the operator over there. He's still upset about Brazil being.
You know what they should let us do one time? Is they should just see what would happen if one of us tried to use that board.
I know exactly what happened if I tried to use it.
I can't tell you.
A blue screen of death or whatever.
You can't have 250 buttons on something and expect us. There was not 250 cameras. I don't understand why the board has that many buttons on it. You don't have that many camera shots.
It's not.
I'm just saying.
I have something to tell you. Not every button is for a camera shot. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a little. It's a little bit much.
Yeah, it is a little bit much. Just real quickly here on NVIDIA, just because we did this. It was SpaceX yesterday, or were we in NVIDIA? No, it must have been SpaceX. Well, SpaceX was on the downside of 145, just kept on bouncing. But there was something else that we were in yesterday afternoon. It might have been NVIDIA, by the way. But anyways, needless to say, these little top ticks over there, we've kept on making highs was it Amazon? Anyways, we kept on making ticks up here, and I want to be able to hold it, but if we're just going to keep on getting out, it
wasn't
it was NVIDIA, and then it fell back in. Yeah, so, these outs here, I don't have a whole bunch left. We've battled with NVIDIA all day today, so I'm just trying to get out here before we actually break down, and I'm not sure we are going to break down there, but, yesterday or a couple days ago, we had a very similar trade where we didn't take it. I think today we will. A break of rate here, right? We're back up to 30,000 again, amazing. Even this morning, and again, it was probably yesterday when we were down, but we were like, oh man, there goes 30,000 again. Whatever happened to that level? And boom shakalaka, it's right back again here, that 30,000 level. But what about a break right there of 29,950 on the downside? I think I'm going to look at that. So I'm going to look at the TQs right now and think about a breakdown and just try to find that exact same level. So, yep, it matches it perfectly, of course. 76.30, 76.40 breakdown on the Qs, TQQQs, and we're going to do that. So here we go. Neil could talk about it. I love Corning.
We were mentioning it this morning. I love the.
There's a reversion on it. What is
Nick
that?
W. I know what he's getting at, and I think he's dead on. Nick Dub's thoughts on a reversion swing in GLW. It's because of how far it came off the highs.
Right.
So like it's a reversion because it dropped from 270 into 180. But how many times have we talked about if a really good stock sometimes gives you that bear territory look? That's a bit of a buy the dip situation. Look at the 50 period. At the end of the day, it only really matters the indicator if the stock gives a darn about the indicator. Is it respecting it? Is it giving you trades off of that level? Is GLW respecting the 50 period moving average, a simple moving average in the daily? I'd say the answer is a loose yes, meaning it'll break it, but how many days are you under? You close at it here, you spend 1 day underneath, and you recover. You close here underneath and you gap higher. Close, then a big green day. The second day under is a big reversal day, and then we're back above. So I think this is a situation where it is respecting that 50 period. There's a little bit of a wipeout bottom at that 193, 2 days underneath, and then we just gap higher. So, it usually comes down to like how you playing it. If you're just playing it in the stock, whether you're giving it to the prior low, maybe you're giving it to the close at 85. Everyone has to have their own method, but I do like GLW. I don't remember. I think it was. What ended up happening at the open is I detested this candle at the open and then didn't trade. I said, no, well, that candle will wait for the 190 level or 191. But I do love some Corning. It looks pretty good. Nick Dubs, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Hey, whether you send gifts, whether you hop on the chat or amalgamated, is that what we're calling it?
Amalgamation?
No, the consolidated.
Consolidated, yeah.
Amalgamated. Who says amalgamated? Or whether you're looking at that.
Do.
It doesn't matter. You could be sending us messages in here. You don't have to send a super chat or anything like that. You can tag us, TikTok, YouTube. We'll see them. We love the questions. We love the ideas. We love the stocks. Look, I'm just right here. Like Keneal saying Intel. What's up with Intel? Intel and a question mark. That's it. Intel question mark. So the answer to the question is Intel stinks right now. That's the best way to put it. NASDAQ's up 1.7% and at the highs. Most of the chip names are strong. I might have gotten out of DRAM, but that's near the high. So Micron and SanDisk had to be doing pretty good. Intel's up 2%, but that doesn't look very good to me. It's testing the lows. Maybe this is, that is the vaunted flat bottom break. Or just the bear flag short the lows kind of deal with Intel. So that's kind of like, it's similar to the GLW, but not holding strength. Instead, it's threatening to give up the gains. I'm actually in SMCI, as I was about to go to DRAM. I'll get to DRAM in a second. But that's somewhat similar in that it's been trending down from the open push and then consolidating, maybe for push down. But it's at VWAP. I don't want it breaking out above VWAP. Looking for it to maybe push down, give that gap. Why? Market's at the highs and it's putting in lower highs. Rather be short something like that than trying to fight something like a DRAM, which is strong. Yeah, I got out of that one at a good point. And I went for my walk when it lost VWAP, and that was like bad time. Like, it's underneath VWAP. I'm gonna go for the walk. It's probably gonna find a bid at some point. It found a bid like 5 minutes later, and now it's back up top. 5.5 percentage points.
We do have a return of a past guest. It's been over 1 year, so in a couple minutes. About 5 minutes, you're gonna see an old face. I got some questions to ask this gentleman, and it'll be exciting to see him very, very soon. His face is quite old, and you're going to see him very, very soon as you go. So I just want to say right now, the TQs, you guys know we trade that. I am going to go short on this break, regardless of news or anything like that. Obviously, we can get out if anything does wind up happening there, but the TQs on the downside. And we just want to look maybe a little bit here at oil. Just have a quick look to see what's going on there today. New movement in oil, like it just started to go 108.50 bottom up to 109.40. So yeah, maybe a good possibility here to keep on going just a bit higher there. But yeah, that's the trade coming through here. Oh, we're almost in. This is a break of 35. So we're almost going to be into this one as we look to get a little lower. And we're just going to use okay, now we're in. 70, I think we could probably give this back to the day's high. Excuse me. I don't just want to punch out immediately if we're wrong. Let's let this one develop a little bit. We've seen some breakdowns, throughout the afternoons lately, but I mean, a lot of that, so much of it is based on, I guess, basically whatever Trump has to say. and whether or not, he's truthing or tweeting or whatever it's called. But yeah, yesterday we didn't get anything. The TQs just kind of did this until I don't want to hold it till the imbalances. That's the imbalances right there. So we'll puff pass on that one. But yeah, I guess it didn't break down yesterday. This was the day where it looked pretty similar to me. There's the breakdown right there live and in living color. That's another good one. Chappelle showing in living color was another good show.
That's the originator.
Yeah, but there's a breakdown right there looking similar to what we're doing right now. And that's actually 230, that break right there. So, definitely some opportunities here to get a little short in the TQs. And we're going to take that. Again, there's it is the next day, but it doesn't matter. It's all about what's happening today. So we'll take that short right now. It looks like it did go into the money a little bit for us, only down 5 cents. But we're going to have to give it a little bit of room here to breathe as we go short on the NASDAQ here into the afternoon. So yeah, we'll give it some room. And you know what? Maybe we'll try to reload this maybe at 76.50 or this 25 period moving average. But I'm pretty confident in this, and we'll give it, as confident as you could be as a trader. We're always second guessing all the positions that we have. Explosions heard near Bushehr province in Iran. Okay, well, that's not really going to affect my position. However, I'm really surprised. Like, maybe if anything, that's a good thing for the market. And I don't mean that, in a bad way or anything about it. We always feel bad for, all the people involved here and the citizens. I think it's just crazy what's happening. But the market knows about this sort of, disgruntled relationship that they now have. Yep. And the market, it's still up 1.7% today. So these explosions, although obviously, should help the market go lower. If anything, I would say it would be more oil related. And, President Trump was talking about taking possession of Karg Island again. And that would be something that apparently, from what I've heard, it requires like boots on the ground. And that's not something I don't think anybody really wants, or President Trump's really ready to make that decision. But hey, man, I'm not in that war room. So who knows what's going on there. But yeah, maybe. Look, I thought that break might have signaled some sort of pressure on the stock, on the market, but it doesn't look like it's doing a whole heck of a lot. We'll try to get a little bit more here, but I think I'm going to stay pretty steadfast in taking a 40-cent hit here if it does go back to the upside. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
I think, was that a call for Adara? Yeah, let's go to Adara. Maybe there's more on this.
So all I have, though, is that one headline with regards to Iran and oil explosions heard near the Bushehr province. I believe this is also the province where explosions were heard yesterday afternoon. We also got that push up in the market for whatever reason. So just be aware of that. We're going to have our special guest very soon, but I also want to talk about UPS and FDX. Now, I can't be sure this is why they dropped, but they dropped at exactly the same time, and they're trading in the same way. Looks like earlier this afternoon, we had a report here suggesting that Amazon Shipping is targeting FedEx and UPS customers by specifically lowering their parcel pricing. This report coming from Supply Chain Drive. According to experts, Amazon's been offering competitive rates actually at the same level as or below those offered by FDX and UPS, also with fewer surcharges, no residential surcharge, and no weekend delivery fees. So basically, according to logistics data platform Loop, this allows clients from FedEx and UPS to save up to $6 per package, with one large retail client that's unnamed able to save more than 33% every year by shifting from FedEx over to Amazon. So good look for Amazon potentially here, not a good look here for FedEx or UPS on that report that Amazon's trying to undercut them. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
When Amazon comes to your business, you better hide your kids, hide your wife, because
that's not what you want to see.
That's a dangerous.
You're not going to win.
A dangerous.
You can't win.
Play. I saw some people in the chat. I gave that little bit of a tease.
I saw some guesses.
I saw some guesses in the chat there. Maybe some were right, some were wrong.
I saw a few were right.
I think a few were right, and it has been a minute, and we're very, very happy to bring him back. He's back again. Guess who's back? It's Raider Traders back. Andrew Raider back in the building.
What?
There he is. Look at this guy.
What up?
Look at this guy. This guy doesn't age a minute. How you been, my friend?
Good. I feel a little bit out of place being with the two most handsome traders on Wall Street. A little out of place, but yeah, well, I'm working up to that podium. So
it
didn't take long.
You're getting up there. If I could borrow some of your hair, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll take a little myself.
So I have to ask you a question here. What have you been up to, man? I mean, you took a year off from us anyways. Give us the goods. What have you been up to? What have you been working at? Where are you working now? What's going on with Raider Trader?
Yeah, so I'm an old face, but I am a young guy. So I started my career, I had graduated college, and I was doing a lot of the Radar Report stuff. I still am writing those reports and working on a lot of tools, but I had an opportunity to take my trading professionally, and that's what I did. So I got hired at a desk, and I've been trading with them for the last 2 years now. So, went to Miami for a lot of training, just took a break from social media. It can be toxic, especially for someone my age, always trying to compare myself and things like that, the natural negative feedback loops. But felt good, felt in a better place, and I recently moved back to Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Trading's remote, so I can do it from anywhere. Just to be closer with family, and I value that a lot. So really close to my brother. Actually got an apartment 5 doors down from my brother. So
nice.
Count on us this weekend watching the England-Mexico game and some others, which will be really exciting.
Does your brother trade as well, or is it a different profession, or?
No, my whole family is engineers, so they do like Honda, cars, things like that. I was the finance guy.
So they're probably like, this happens to some friends that we know, like where their parents are all professionals like that, engineers, lawyers, or doctors, and they say, "What? You're getting into trading? Like, are you insane?"
Yeah, degenerate gambler who disguises his addiction in a profession. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I've been there.
But good on you. We happen to know that you do have supportive parents. I know you came to visit us, and we got the opportunity. To meet your mom. Fantastic. And I got to ask you a question. It's great that you're back in Ohio. The mayor has to be there. I think, obviously,
the owner.
I'm sure you enjoyed Miami.
I thought it was the CEO of Ohio.
Was the CEO or the mayor?
Well,
okay, fine. CEO to mayor.
Owner, CEO, everything. I have every title.
Citizen.
Whichever. They all work. But in your capacity as the mayor or CEO of Ohio, I'm sure one of the things you're looking for is opportunities to trade. Weird segue, but I want to get right into some brass tacks. Okay, tomorrow we've got obviously the SK Hynix ADR. We've had some major events. We can talk SpaceX if we want to a little bit, maybe a little bit OpenAI or what you're looking at. But I want to get your thoughts immediately on this ADR. Everyone is talking about the memory space. That has been the leader of the market. Oftentimes when big names in a hype space look to raise capital, and this isn't an IPO, but it is still a rather large capital grab here by SK Hynix. What are your thoughts generally? Is there a trade you're looking at? Maybe sympathy, maybe directly tomorrow, or are you on the sidelines looking for some setups? Give me your thoughts on SK Hynix.
Yeah, so I'll get into the trades in a second, but let's first talk about the context.
Yes.
Every IPO, there's context. As a trader, I'm trying to find what makes this IPO special, and how can I, most importantly, draw money from it. And so obviously SpaceX, for obvious reasons, biggest IPO in history, biggest entrepreneur, huge institutional demand, everything was there. Now, knowing those factors, right, knowing a IPO is hot is not enough to make money. We have to know how are the historical tendencies of these hot IPOs. Well, great references for, SpaceX was Circle, was Fig, was Coinbase, a lot of these bigger ones as well, such as Meta. And so what you go back and look at all these historical ones, and you can draw some conclusions. So if you guys actually don't mind, I did come prepared. I have about 5 trades. I can just fly right through them that I look for in my IPO trading playbook. IPO, again, we use that term, but it's an ADR, to how we can trade this. So I'm actually sharing my screen if you guys don't mind. But I'll just, if you guys want to screenshot this or whatever, this is kind of the cheat sheet. At a professional level, I'm really looking at 5 trades. The opening print, the liquidity drain trade, which is shorting sympathy names, such as, as soon as SK Hynix IPOs, you're actually shorting MU, SanDisk, et cetera, because of everyone selling those to allocate capital for it. We saw that with SpaceX, SPCE, drew down 30% intraday right before the IPO. Momentum fade, short after the opening drive, high at daybreak, and then the overnight swing. So those are the 5 basic core trades in chronological order that I'm looking at. Now, opening print trades are very, very, very attractive risk-reward opportunities. And here was my dots on SpaceX. Why is it opening trade print probably the trade I'm going to size the most? Well, it's because you can't get this defined risk-reward in a lot of other stuff. What I was doing was putting my entire day's risk on basically halfway down to limit down. So I was saying, this is what I'm willing to lose to halfway limit down just for safety, and then I'm going to risk that and capture an opening drive. Because you are the first to a brand new market, which means that when you have something like SpaceX, now it's going to be a little bit interesting with ADR because it's not a brand new market, but it is to the US market essentially. So that's a little bit risk there. I'm probably going to size down just a little bit because of that. But yeah, those were kind of the 5 trades you guys can look for. Use a market at open order when it comes to an opening print trade. So we have situational awareness. We have, I think Sharif talked a lot about this, being the UBS, talking about, hey, sell your Korea, buy the US. It's easier to hedge for hedge funds. It deserves a premium. Historically, SK Hynix is traded at a 20% discount to MU because of the Forex exchange rates and the fact it's not on the US market. You also can get index inclusion, I believe now that it's on US markets. So there's maybe a structural demand that people want to be involved in. So everything to me involves, this is the ticker I want to risk on. And if it's going to be a big red day for me, I'd rather be a big red day on that ticker because that's deserving of risk. So I know that was a little tangent, but those were the 5 trades I'm looking for tomorrow in order.
That's not a tangent. That's pretty much exactly what we're looking for. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not you're right, it's not the exact same as the traditional IPO, but a lot of the same principles that we look for. It's a big time liquidity event, one of the largest that you're going to find. And oftentimes I don't want to say never, but for most people I know, let's be real, when the SpaceX day came around, you knew that was going to be the biggest risk day for a lot of people, and it was the same thing with maybe Cerebras, and I think a lot will be the same regardless of which trade you make over in SK Hynix. And just one more before I throw you to Sean there. The sympathy trade. Now, obviously, there was a lot to do in SpaceX with regards to like Rocket Lab or maybe the NASA or the USO or UFO, any of the ETS, lots of plays out there. The thing that's going on in the chip space, in the memory chip names, from a fundamental standpoint, the whole Excel the news, some of these are relatively cheap and have given a pretty good dip. How much does that play into any sympathy trade when they have already pulled back so far off the highs?
Yeah, that's a really interesting. And actually, believe it or not, when I was looking at SPCE and some of those other space names before the SpaceX IPO, a big consideration of discussion among my peers and I on the desk was, is this already down too much? Because that ultimately takes away from the risk to reward and the kind of meat on the bone. Now, what's super interesting is, right, they're looking to raise, I think, about 28 billion for this. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot when you compare it to SpaceX, which was, 75 plus billion. But you have to understand, this is the second largest ADR raise in history behind Baba, maybe even number 1 at one point before they walked it down. But with that in consideration, it is really interesting to me that over the last 2 days, you've seen hardware, MU and SanDisk, rocketing. SanDisk up 500 points from the lows. That to me is saying, hey, maybe there was a little bit more meat on the bone now. So this is a trade that unfortunately is getting very competitive. I mean, if you actually look at my screen right here, SPCE actually dropped 7 a.m. in the pre-market. And by the time the IPO actually happened, you only dropped just a fraction of the amount you traditionally would with other IPOs and their reactions, which typically would drop as soon as it opens. So it is a very competitive trade. And to be honest, I think it's going to be an early alarm clock for me tomorrow to see if I can't work into a small short ahead of time on the pre-market names of MU and SanDisk. But overall, look, this is probably going to be one of the ops of the week, if not the month. And beyond just day 1, right? We have to think about day 2, day 3, day 4. Is there consolidation and a high break to the days follow? Those are kind of things that we want to look at and really push size on, because Circle and IPOs this year have been extremely hot. And I don't think an ADR, just because it's an ADR, is a reason to say, oh, I don't want to trade it. Well, it's, there's still huge institutional demand. There's people who are like, this stock has been untouchable for us for a while because we're a U.S. only long, fund, and now we finally get access to that. So, mechanics and all that, all this debate, I think the fact that everyone is debating it should tell you it deserves a little bit more risk in the right moments.
Andrew, there was no debating your comment there about SpaceX. And I mean, that is that when you mentioned here about IPOs or, these new listings, whatever, direct listing, anything that they are, if it's a risk on environment, you should be putting your risk on. And everybody that was watching us here, we had record viewers the day of SpaceX IPO. And I was lucky enough to have my largest day of my career on that exact trade. So yeah, we were really, really happy with all that, and we look to do hopefully the same tomorrow with SK Hynix. But I just have to interrupt quickly because here it is, man. I don't know if you've been in some clubs lately, but it's a $5 winner right now on NVIDIA. We had to battle this one throughout all morning, so I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat because I'm starting to get out now 204 and change area low here, or area high, I guess, now on NVIDIA. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention as we are here, and very happy to once again welcome Andrew Rader back on the show. So, okay, so we just talked about some awesome events that are coming through right now in the market over the next couple days. NVIDIA is a name that we always talk about, so I'm going to sort of pass on that for now. You gave me a name before, and it was something that I'm not sure how long ago it was, IoT Samsara. I actually looked at this name, and I'm now involved in Samsara as well. Been buying some of these dips off there. I just wanted to ask you, is this still a name that you're interested in or not? But Samsara, one of the names that I've recently been buying, bought some dips down into here, into the low to mid 20s. Do you still like this name? I liked it off some support, and I do believe the switch there into IoT, the Internet of Things, is something that we should be looking at.
You know, what's super interesting, and I'll kind of give my view of tomorrow and what I think will be hot. But the hardware-software debate has been super interesting. We've been talking about this, or at least seeing the kind of inverse price action between hardware and software over the last few weeks and months, and that's because, again, like the debate of, well, is AI taking away from the validity of software? And even Adara and some other people were talking about headlines today of now and this morning with like Microsoft and Starbucks, or I forget, maybe it was CRM. But software is in a tough place, and hardware has been the kind of leading edge of that. So for now, I really do still favor hardware. I think the scarcity is still there. There's no scarcity of software. And so that's kind of what I've been leaning on. Now, you mentioned the NVIDIA trade, which is super interesting that you were in this today, because tomorrow I have a pretty decent thesis, if I don't run out of risk ahead of time, that I really want to be involved in a lot of the mega caps. Now, we just reclaimed a pretty big level in the market today. SPY is very strong, maybe coming into some overhead supply. But when you go back into positive gamma, you guys know I love options. I love talking about the dynamics and their growing influence on the market in today's world. You reclaim positive gamma today, and that increases dispersion. And what does that mean? That means that the indices ranges will likely compress, and because of that, dispersion or single stock volatility increases. People feel comfortable again, and they start becoming stock pickers. And when they start becoming stock pickers, those tend to break out. Daily breakouts start to work out. And if you guys saw Dell like yesterday and other names, buying highs has not been working. It's been a tough market. And so has this Iran thing kind of fizzling out into Friday with zero DTs? I'm going to be looking at a lot of these mega caps. Look at the recovery today from Meta. Look at NVIDIA. Look at Apple coiling up into that all-time high. I think there's a lot of room for a lot of the different option mechanics to take over. I'm going to be watching those.
You like Dell? Is Dell the hardware name that you're looking at there, or you want to go long tomorrow or short? It looks like it was breaking down there, Dell, but what was the call there for Dell?
So Dell, I am a little biased long. I am long right now, but yeah, I've been long since this morning. But the idea is that you might see a lot of these daily breakouts start to work. So if you see, like, for example, Apple coiling up at the highs, this hasn't really had an option to kind of rip. And so we're really going to be looking at that. Again, highs have been failing, but there's been this little sideways action in the market, and all you need is that one good day with zero DTs tomorrow influencing that price action. You can actually see even earnings coming up. So the kind of fundamental, if you guys are into fundamentals, the reason being there's a lot of discussion that with token prices coming down and the AI kind of scarcity maybe pulling back a little bit, that mega caps are immune to token prices going down because they actually supply the bulk of the infrastructure to the market. And regardless of what the token prices is, the compute is still the same. So that's kind of the idea there.
You mentioned a few mega cap names. If there was one of the mega caps right here that you think is due for a rebound, I mean, we talked a little bit about the IGV, some of the software names, and of course, Microsoft is a big part of the IGV, but there's Microsoft, Amazon, Google, which I think I would favor maybe a Google look there as well. But, Tesla, Apple, I mean, out of any of these, if we're going to look out 6 months or so, What are you thinking over there? I mean, I think Apple probably has maybe the best chart and looking like it's going to take out highs. I worry myself a little bit about the China risk over there. You know, what's exactly going on with any of the tariffs? I feel like that's not resolved. So that would be my sort of risk there for Apple. And then some of the memory, I don't know if you've been following the Apple story, but potentially going to be using some memory there from CXMC or T, which is a Chinese developer of memory. So maybe that gets banned, or who knows what's going on there. But which of the big heavy names, and maybe we don't have to pick a mega cap name, but you know, which of these big names are you looking at for a nice little run in over the next 6 months?
I think super interesting. So Apple is one that sticks out to me, and here's the kind of reason why. Apple is something that, you know, you've seen some news about them trying to get cheaper memory. I think Trump will do it out of, you know, just, again, midterms coming up. They want prices down. Well, we have to remember, guys, this entire AI boom, it's not a bubble. It's just cyclical. Cycles happen. The scarcity comes in and it goes out, normalizes, and it picks a new norm. Well, everyone who has been investing in the AI infrastructure build out has been somewhat punished. I mean, over the last 6 months, mega caps in the real economy stocks, due to tariffs and the geopolitical conflict, have been extremely neglected. I mean, look at when the entire Iran conflict was going on. The only stocks that were up was AI. It was like CapEx was creating its own economy, independent of everything else. And so now that you're finally starting to see, well, you know, oil prices and this Fed come in, Fed says we want prices down. Well, all of a sudden, who's going to benefit from the biggest relief of prices? It's likely to be the real economy stock.
Right.
And for a company like Apple, who spent no real spend on AI, you have this argument that if the Fed is going to come in and be a little stricter and start hiking and make money more hard, you know, difficult to get, then the benefit or the kind of cycle could shift into now people are really interested in the real economy stocks, the stocks with better balance sheets, and Apple is still a massive capex, not capex, but they didn't spend the massive amount of capex.
Right.
Exactly. And so a lot of people are thinking, well, even though they're lagging behind on the AI race, what if they kind of benefit from that in the sense that they just benefit from all the downstream models that are now way cheaper and already established, and they're just partnering like they did with Google to put them on their smartphones.
Let me give you another story with Apple as well, and you're well aware, but didn't mention it. The buybacks, right? I mean, they have these share buybacks, these huge buybacks that continue to be part of it, right? So while other companies, we saw Amazon dilute a little bit the other day, we saw Rivian as well, Google going out there to raise money. Apple's actually doing the opposite. They're taking back in shares and creating a lower float out there with their buyback. So I think that's another reason, and I love your real economy talk right there. All right, before we let you go, you know, a big thing, and I want to talk about soccer at the end, but just one more look on a major play here, USO, oil in general. Do you like anything in the oil patch? Do you like XOM, CVX? Are you looking at USO as a potential trade? Just here on the show the other day, and it's funny because we get the bump up, you know, on all this tension, but I thought oil had gone a little too far too fast back into the downside, considering the tensions that are still existing over there in the Middle East, right? And especially we have summertime gas, and we have a lot of people traveling, you know, demand and everything going higher should create a little bit of a higher price there. What do you think about this chart on USO, or is there any play that you're looking for that can be an energy type idea surrounding maybe Iran and the US?
Yeah, so as far as oil and USO, I'm going to just say it. I have no edge when it comes to long-term outlook of USO. But I will tell you this. A lot of the opportunities that we've been taking here on the desk have revolved around intraday or even overnight news risk. So you guys know from a pattern of Trump that he releases news on weekends. Interesting. Why? Because they don't want it to hit the markets too hard.
Right.
And so if you go back in history, you'll see a lot of the news he does, or the strikes, rather, if you call that news, is in the after hours of the weekend. So a lot of people I know have been hedging into the after hours, buying maybe like a cheap YOLO call.
Right.
But honestly, I've just been sticking to just trading the indexes and the individual stocks as a holding. I don't get too involved with oil because that's for people with gray hair. But
what are you trying to say?
Where is this going over here? I mean, like, just as fast as you came back, I mean, this could be the end of Raider Trader.
It's going to be like that. Okay.
This could be one fast pump and dump.
You're lucky you're good friends of ours. But no, I do understand what you're saying. We've had people on the desk before that had mentioned about those YOLO calls and actually pretty much referenced the same type of thing there.
It's very true.
Yeah, where they're looking for action after hours, and you buy some of those little, you know, maybe options that are the weeklies or whatever, that you can get that little bump in premium. All right, you had mentioned that you had watched soccer there with your brother and you're getting excited about Mexico and England. I know maybe you're biased towards the English over there, but have you been watching the World Cup? What are you thinking moving forward? I think a lot of us, France is a pretty popular pick around here.
Chalk.
Belgium, some of these names. Is there any team that you're looking at here? If you could buy an option on a team, which one would it be?
Listen, I would say the last 15 minutes of the last Argentina game, I have never sweated so much and jumped in joy in front of a TV screen as a grown man as I did with the Argentina game, and the Argentina final of the last World Cup.
Right.
I am ultimately rooting for Argentina. Listen, I'm a Messi glazer. Okay, that's just a term we can use since I'm young enough to say it.
Right.
I Messi Max. I glaze Max.
I get it.
So,
Okay.
It's pretty, but I do want. You're right. I do want Harry Kane. I'm a big Tottenham fan, so
okay.
I do want. Bring him home for the king. Yeah. I do want.
Yes.
I do want
Yeah,
that.
don't ever do that again. Is there a chance that they meet? Would it be the finals if they met? I don't know the bracket there. Argentina, England.
I think so.
I mean, that would be exciting.
That would be an awesome
I know it's probably going to be France in the final again. We all know that, but
Okay.
who knows? Maybe Morocco. I have been also the Cape Verde, the smaller teams. This World Cup has been amazing for smaller teams putting underdog performances on.
I'm glad you brought that up because that is
Incredible.
the story. Cabo Verde is the story of this World Cup, and no matter who wins,
incredible.
It's the best thing for the sport, and it's just going to make it bigger and better for everybody. I'm going to throw it out there that I might want England to win. I don't think they've got the goods. They
looked horrible last game. They looked really bad.
They're straight. They're just basically scratching and clawing is a term that we like to use, which is not what you want to be doing. You want to get some decisive wins out there.
They played with no passion. You can actually tell which teams are going to do well just by their energy. Like you can feel it through the screen. Cape Verde, you could just tell wanted to win. And you look at England, they look like a bunch of independent people on the field rather than a team. So.
All right. Well, we can tell that you've been looks maxing over there, Andrew Rader.
So pro tip, guys, just take a hammer and start chiseling your jaw.
Right. You do look a lot like that, dude. I have to admit that. So we will chat with you, hopefully again sometime soon.
Yes.
So thank you for coming back. And is there anywhere we have on the bottom there?
I have one more call out. Listen, I love leaving call outs, little special surprises.
$5 a call out. Yeah.
SpaceX tomorrow. Above prior day high could be a massive gamma squeeze. Just watch that for tomorrow.
Okay, we will watch out for that. And where can they find you? We have it all at the bottom at Raider Trader, both on Instagram and it looks like Raider Trader 101 over there on X. So if anybody has any questions,
find me there, guys. Ask me questions. You can sign up for my reports, free trial, cancel after 14 days. I don't care, but you might as well give it a shot.
If anybody mentions Trader TV Live, you better answer their question over there, Andrew. So
we're sending them to you.
Yeah, we're sending them all over to you. All right, thank you, Andrew.
Okay.
It's been a blast, man. Good luck with everything. We'll chat with you soon. That's
Appreciate you, brother.
Trader. We had a lot of fun with him.
Yeah.
A lot of fun with him in the past.
Good fun to be back.
Now, because put this back in there, we'll listen to some more news. But that was really interesting to hear what he had to say. And again, not the first person that's mentioned there, the oil sort of looking at that into the close, potentially holding something overnight or over the weekend, where you get a little bit of a bump in premium based on these bombings or a little bit more aggression. It seems to be, I think, for my experience, Monday morning, like we get tweets, Monday morning and things like that. So that would still work out quite well for that kind of a strategy, right? Where you're looking at, hey, I bought something on Friday night, hoping that oil would pop up, and all of a sudden some negativity coming.
You're just putting the odds in your favor a little bit.
So I like that. I like that.
It's sort of similar to the if we're sitting down 1.5, 2 points in the market in the morning, at some point you look for there to be some news that might come from the administration a little bit later on in the session, like after lunchtime, that could give you a bit of a bounce. That's another thing people have talked about. Look, we're still trending down here in oil. I know there was like some minor headlines coming out, nothing too big there, but it's been a rough one if you're looking at oil. But one thing that it has done, and I neglected to mention this morning, and it's like, oh, we forgot to talk about some of the travel names, just instant bounce back. We've been talking all day about the bounce back in tech, about the bounce back in memory names, about the chips going crazy. But hey, there's been a fantastic bounce over here in travel. You got 5 points here in CCL. Now, obviously, with oil going down, you're getting a start to a potential mean reversion. And every day that we don't have from this point on, any day we don't have escalation or pops in USO, I just think you're looking to ride the wave here. What I like about this is you've got the rounded bottom and a potential break. The fact that it got to 27, I know it's only 3 o'clock. We can talk about some stuff we're looking at tomorrow that aren't HK Hynix. But as long as we don't have anything happen in USO, all bets are off if we spike 5% in oil overnight and there's like crazy strikes. Obviously, I'm not going to be looking long in travel if that's the case. But if nothing bad, I don't need the news the other way. Just nothing bad happening. And then this becomes a continuation play tomorrow. What we're going to do now is jump back over. Ooh, I see an interesting state flag. So Adair is over at the wall. So let's head to one of our favorite segments in the afternoon and see what she has for us.
To the window.
Here is today's edition of To the Window, To the Wall, where I pull up a chart window and we look at it in the wall. Maybe the wall on Wall Street, maybe we change the name of the segment, but for now, I like it. And I also like what we're going to talk about today, which is the Texas Stock Exchange. From Wall Street to Y'all Street, which is actually what this is being called. This is not my pun. A lot of people are referring to the Texas Stock Exchange as Y'all Street. Now, what are we talking about here? Well, if you guys didn't know, they did like I guess the test run of this. So I believe it's not real stocks. That started on Monday. But the Texas Stock Exchange, or TXSE, it goes live tomorrow. So that's when this is going to start trading. I found this pretty interesting here. As you can see, some pretty interesting strategic partners here as well. BlackRock, Bank of America, Citadel, Texas Capital Bank, Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, JP Morgan, I believe also is one of these strategic partners. But what's pretty interesting, I went through their website. They don't have a lot of like super clear information. It's a lot of buzzwords, if I'm being real here. I didn't really see anyone of note in terms of the actual personnel. But what's interesting here, basically, they describe themselves as an electronic national securities exchange that's going to be allowing for public market access to be expanded in the U.S. They're really trying to get, I think, a lot of companies to have their home listing here on the TXSE, which is interesting. They want to list not just U.S. companies, global companies as well, but the key here is U.S. access. Now, what's also interesting is they highlighted what is called the Boom Belt. So shout out to anybody in the Boom Belt. This is kind of like the more southern area of the U.S. surrounding Texas. It's 11 states, so I guess just over 20% of the U.S., and apparently this region has untapped potential in a lot of different areas. And that's, I think, also what the TXSE is trying to capitalize on. It's headquartered in Dallas. So shout out to Texas. I hope you guys found this informative. You can find this infographic. I posted it yesterday on X at TTV Research. It will be reposted tomorrow ahead of this debut. But in the meantime, this was our Y'all Street edition of To the Window, To the Wall, as we send it back over to the guys.
Ran into Adair and she said she didn't have much energy and she, felt a little tired. I think she's holding up quite well. That was quite an energetic to the window, to the wall there. So shout out to the Texas Exchange. And we've actually had some questions about that. So make sure you do go on to. By the way,
TSX.
Here we go, guys. It's 15 cents. But hey, man, we have a decent position now. We have 2 units here on the TQs and just taking out a little bit now as this continues to make a little bit of a move lower here. I'm going to put out another bid at 25 just because we are at that vaunted 200 period moving average rate there. So, as we talk to Raider Trader and, go over a couple of different questions, your boy doesn't stop trading. You guys know that. So there it is right there, 76.50, bringing it back in. And we'll see what's going on here now as the TQs seem to be falling. And that was that break that we liked, man. I mean, if you like something, we always think you got to take it. And that's what we did right there with our good friend, the TQs. And again, it's not the futures, but it's close enough. It is the market, it is your NASDAQ 100. So if you're looking at this with me, good luck, and let's see what winds up happening here with the TQQs. I may now, because we did get that reload at the 50 and the 25 period moving average, I think I'm going to use this as my out now, 76.50. So if we do break back above, we're starting to capture a little bit of profit. I had just over 2 units. Now we have just under 2 units. So let's put out one more bid to get to that 2 unit mark, and we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with the TQQs. And there it is. We get that 25 one more time. Let's throw it back over to, this time, Sia at the desk.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a look at what the market's doing right now. Let's start by looking at the 3 major averages. The SPY currently up 0.74%. The triple Qs up a little over 1.5%. The Dow is continuing to be up as well, 0.21%, and the IWM up 1.4% on the day. Let's take a look at some things that we're going to talk about today. PSKY, I know we've been talking about this name a lot on the show. Hasn't been for a long time though, but PSKY is down today, almost 3.5%. 3.5% on the day after. Reuters has reported today that several U.S. states are planning to file an antitrust lawsuit against the entertainment conglomerate over its acquisition of WBD. So there's the bad news about that. You can see that huge downtick, down right off the open. We're also going to take a look at Mara Holdings, up 12% on the day. The company said that it will acquire land in Matagorda County, Texas, from HIF USA, which is a renewable fuels company. So Mara said that the site, which includes more than 1,200 acres, will eventually more than double the company's power capacity to about 4.8 gigawatts across its portfolio. So we have HIF that has said that they will be keeping a minority stake in the company. And finally, I was talking about this not so much, but earlier in my sector watch, that Costco is one of the names that was down today. It slid down further. It's down 4.5% right now after reporting its decelerating comparable sales in June. So its comps have risen 8.8% year over year in June versus the 12.5% gain that it saw in May. That's all, and sending it right to you.
Thank you very much, Sia. And I'm going to get to the halt in a quick little second. As the market continues to come down, still just, it's about, for me, SMCI at that volume weighted average price or adjacent to it. We took the 70 for the 10 cents. We want the 20 in front of the 60 level. But I know there's this halter, JLHL. This was, this one I can actually pronounce because it's just Julong Holding Limited.
Perfect.
This is the one that didn't have any news on it, but it doesn't really make a difference. I don't see any news on it, but it doesn't matter. It's up 214%. Everyone that's asking for the tap, it's really just indicating a 261 or 62 open, pretty much where it is. You're not really getting any kind of a gap up indication at all, but it should be a 5-minute haul, which means 1 minute to go for JLHL. Anytime we talk about a gapper or a runner like this, always feel like we got to show you the daily chart or have some concept of where it's been. The 200 period and the latest resistance, it's essentially gapped right to that point underneath $10. So you know the drill. Most of the time, the secondary bounce is not as big as the first, and that had a pretty precipitous fall after its last run up. So, good look on this. I'm going to be not touching it with a 10-foot pole. I would chase, and this is definitely not something I would want to fade. This is JLHL, so it should be open in about 5 or 10 seconds, but that $10 level is a bit of a big one. Did just grab the fill on SMCI. I'm going to reload if it bounces to VWAP, I think it's worth a reload. But for now, if it breaks this gap fill, if it breaks this flat bottom here, like 28.55, I think there's some way to the bottom for sure. So yeah, the shorts are working out as we have the Fed announcing leadership objectives for monetary policy task forces. What is it with does every Fed headline has to have task force in it? Is this like a troll?
There are some wild advisors in this task force also. So I think this is announced. I couldn't find the announcement, but New York Times is reporting on it, and there were statements attributed to Worse. So what I'm going to say is he probably did make the announcement, but we just haven't seen a press release for it yet. Basically, apparently each of the 5 task forces co-led by 3 external experts and supported by staff from the Fed. Experts, not exports. He also is saying here, I guess some of the task force leaders will include former Fed governor. You've got Xbox CEO Asha Sharma, who was already controversial, so I'm sure this won't help. She's going to be on a task force as well. So I guess you can do a task force and have another job. Mark Andreessen, known venture capitalist, he's also been appointed, and he's going to be leading alongside Asha Sharma the Xbox, this AI and productivity studies. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's so much to this announcement. I'm going to continue to read through this, but expect to post on XTV research very soon that I'm currently working on.
I wonder how much they get paid on these task forces. Sounds like a good gig.
Probably nothing. Probably the same amount that Elon got paid running the Doge task force.
It's what you get after.
As well. Andrew might have been whatever kind of maxing he was talking about over there. But we're profit maxing, and that's what we're trying to do every single day here. That's our job. Sit here, try to make some trades, try to put on some decent ideas for you. We're short SMCI over there with Neil, and we are in the queues right now with a pretty decent position. Actually, one of my bigger positions of the day, besides the early NVIDIA positions, we put it on with the TQs. We told you we had 2 units on this one, which is pretty decent for me into the afternoon, and we have just a little bit over half left of this position right now as we came right back in, right into this level there. So yeah, man, like pretty proud to do that back into the downside. And of course, all your profit is going to be based on how many shares you trade. So, you guys take your positions, do your own work and your own due diligence. But hey, man, I like that breakdown. I thought I did a good job of talking about it with you guys there. And there's the breakdown. And then, here comes the money coming through right there on a green. I mean, that's a green market. I mean, the market is falling down as we go short.
Yeah, you want the...
I was just going to say, we want the cash register there as well. But yeah, it's a nice move to the downside right there. We were very light on NVIDIA to begin with, but, starting to just get more out. We talked about that at the high side. We actually interrupted our discussion there with Andrew to let you guys know that we were getting out. Then we got another piece out when it broke to 25. Then again right there, less than 5% left on NVIDIA here as we profit max right now back into the downside. So yeah, man, I mean, I think this is a good spot. I'm going to put out another bid right here just to get one more piece out. Before, okay, well, there we go. We get 13s as soon as we put it out. And now we can wait to see if that next level wants to break or hold. And that's in and around this 76 marker, right? We had part of the reason why was it looked like it may want to go down, and then plus the 30,000 mark, right? So as we wait tomorrow for SK Hynix, and I don't know, I think some capital is going to get sopped up from them. So I would say that, there could be some selling here into the close. So now I'm hands off. We know the stop is in. Let's see what winds up happening. Another bid at 76, and then after that, maybe we can get a little lower here. But remember, like, your opinion in the market is one thing, how you trade it is another. So, we may start to get out a little bit here if the market does mature back up a little bit. But hey, man, so far so good on that one, and we'll just wait for our NVIDIA to see what that does. And
yeah, it makes sense to me.
ARM and all that other stuff.
The tech and chips to see some weakness in the afternoon. So whether it's the Qs, whether it's, I haven't looked back at MU and DRAM, what they're doing, but, it doesn't really matter. I think it's a good look to the short side. Now, there was a question about what's going on with Nokia. So I'm going to pop over to, this is what I was able to find. I'm going to ask Adara as well, because this story was at 1:30. Nokia shares trading higher after the company announced a technology partnership with Nest AI to build capabilities for AI-enabled defense operations. Now, it's been up and trading all day to the upside. The volume spike happened here just about a half an hour ago. And obviously, anytime you do more volume in the randomly in the afternoon than you were doing in the opening range, that does suggest something new has happened where I haven't seen a news story for Nokia. Sometimes it can be people recirculating the old story on social media. Maybe that gets a bump and it was already going in the first place, but I haven't found anything in there.
I haven't seen any mentions either. I saw, like I said, I think some things kind of popped in general around that time, so I'm not quite sure. Like, I think a lot of things that were strong kind of continued, but I haven't seen anything since then, Neil, and I did just check.
What I like about this is this falls into that category of the reversion. We were talking about it with Nick Dubb with the super chat, and he was mentioning a reversion on Corning. And the idea being, well, is it overall uptrending? If I put a weekly chart up, it's probably still in an uptrend. But if you talk about it here on the daily, this is what a turn looks like. You're in a downward trend. You make your wipeout bottom. On that day, you then regain the prior low, so a fail break of the low, and then crazy momentum to the upside. It's already sort of broken out key resistance, so technically this one looks pretty good. It's not really set up for the continuation. The reason why I was bringing up CCL for the potential of a break was that CCL has the chance to kind of do like the move that you're seeing now in Nokia. If we don't get any bad news, we can just take that 27, whereas Nokia has already gone super ham to the upside, and that move has happened today. So yeah, it's a good looking stock. Keep it to the ground if there is anything new, but I'm not really seeing anything. I'm looking for something else to be short other than just SMCI. If I can find it. I was thinking about DRAM. I was really only liking the longs in DRAM. That's all the way back at VWAP, so I feel like that's a bit of a chase. to try to short it at the volume weighted average price. Maybe a bounce and then a shot at the lower high down here, because that's sort of a head and shoulders. I mean, not really, but it kind of is at about 65.4. So I'll look for some kind of a bounce here or a breakdown under VWAP. Either a breakdown under VWAP or a short the pop into 65.4 to get another short going, not just SMCI. Let us know what you guys are looking at in the chat. I see Dr. Wynn is already long CCL, so I'm glad you found that one. Hopefully USO continues to go down. You want oil lower, and that stock should be fine.
Yeah, I think some people are still talking about getting ready for tomorrow. I still going to go with the fact of, as we mentioned there, that there will be some selling. And I just covered a little bit more there at 16s, as this did make a move right back up into the 200 period there on the Qs. Look, man, we are all over the chat. Like, if there's anything, I'm trying to, what's up to Blicky? Spears is here. He wants to talk about CIRC. What a minute, what is CIRC? That's not Circle. CIRC, okay, here's a name, 52 million shares. So shout out to you, Blicky, looking at Cirque du Soleil. I love Cirque du Soleil. I can't wait to see that again this summer at some point. I guess in order to see it, I got to buy tickets. So that should be interesting there. What's up to Mike P. the Rider as well? ALO from Dan the Man. Aloe. Oh, that's what I'm wearing today. This is an Aloe shirt. Maybe that's what you're referring to. Aloe, of course, in Paris is the only one that I have on. There, Alstrom. Oh, yeah, that is here. Yeah, you are talking about that. That is a Paris name. And, this is what it looks like, just to give you guys a little bit of a look there. Thank you, everybody, for, joining us once again here on Trader TV Live. I mean, we're really, pleased, especially in the summertime. I mean, we know the numbers are generally a little lower in the summer, but we really want to appreciate everybody from coming through here again. So I don't know anything about this stock. I just wanted to show you that we do have, this is what a Euro level 2 looks like. Of course, it's closed right now, but here at Real Trading, we do have the ability to trade European names. So this name ALO, without knowing anything about it, why did it do this would be my first question. And then after that, fill the gap. Yeah, I mean, that's where your 200 period moving average is. This doesn't look like some sort of a split or anything. You wouldn't go from 22 down to 17, but definitely giving it up a little bit here, ALO. And I don't, want to look more foolish than I normally do and talk about stocks I have no idea. So this name looks like it's getting to the downside, downward sloping. This is down sloping there, 50 period coming back in. I would like the short back at 17, 18 bucks again. But is that what we just heard there? I thought that was going to be more explosions, but no, here it is. U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick. Trump knows price of oil will stay low. He knows it. So right now, it's going to stay low. So do not go long anything oil, according to President Trump there. And that's according with Fox Business interviews. So look, man, I don't, sometimes.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, like I know, the president does have, very strong opinions, needless to say, and very strong convictions on things that he says. But oil, I mean, if they keep on, maybe he's saying that because there is something in the works. I mean, if we try to read through the tea leaves, maybe there's something there for Iran, and he knows that maybe something's going to get resolved there. Maybe potentially the United States is going to step in and release more oil from their reserves. I mean, I'm not even sure what the petroleum reserve is at right now. So there's that theory. And
here's what I think.
They might just, take everything from Venezuela again. I don't know what the reason for that is.
I think one of the reasons you can be confident that prices could stay down is the Strategic Oil Reserve. China built theirs up on basically to like crack levels, man. It was crazy. They would just build, and that's how they've been able to withstand during the war so much. And I have the feeling that not just the U.S. but other countries around the world are gonna replenish their reserves and do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
So I think that's something that can maybe drive up. Like if you drive up that buy, and that'll keep the prices down to a certain extent. And
more breaking news.
But hold on a second. But I wanted to say something very important about the European market.
Go.
You heard Andrew talk about Edge, and we talk about Edge. We'll talk about that tomorrow, right? That's a big deal when you're talking about HK Hynix. The opening drive in the European markets is one of the best trading opportunities if you've got a stock that you like, if you've got a direction that you are confident in. Now, I can tell you, this is something Real Trading and traders we've known for over the years. Even we at our own office, we first got the European markets, we were doing that thing where we'd come in and trade the open and try to go to sleep and then wake up. Did that for like a week or two and realized even though it was making money, that was just really difficult to pull off just from getting regular sleep. but the opportunity is there. This is what that, look at the open drives on this ALO, just the last 3 sessions. If you just see it going and you've got a bias, they tend to be pretty clean. You've just got to be careful with it because liquidity is not the best, but they are fantastic because it's the kind of thing you get in, and if you're right, you just hold. Iranian State TV denies reports of explosions, so that is going to be something that will, again, bring oil prices down. USO is still at the lows, so that CCL and everybody that's, I guess long anything in the travel space or maybe the airlines still going to be looking pretty good. Certainly helping the shorts, that's for sure. I just realized we don't have locates on DRAM, which...
We don't?
Nope.
Not even available.
No, we do. No, sorry, we don't have free shorts on DRAM. So it broke down underneath VWAP. They are literally fractions of a cent, but I did have to go and pay for them. So when this broke down underneath VWAP, no fail because went to hit the bid, and they're super cheap. I mean, it's 0.00026 cents per share to get DRAM, but that's why I didn't just grab it when it broke down underneath that volume weighted average price. Got to be able to pay for it to do it. And Gabzorge asking in the chat, how do you know when a stock is about to do a VWAP bounce volume? You know what? As the stock comes back, I don't know that it's going to bounce off VWAP. I'll look for it to do so. On DRAM this morning, I was looking for VWAP bounce. It didn't. And then when it started bouncing around it, I went into some longs, and then that one got out, and then it looked strong again. And then I got out, then I got back in again. I don't think you ever really know it's going to bounce off VWAP. You just can like the setup, and you can wait for something that looks like an entry pattern off the volume weighted average price. All right, now we're starting to gap fill here.
Let's go.
So I'm looking 28, prior day high, 28 quarter. I'm just going to park the bid because that's the target there on SMCI. And if you can't get DRAM, there's got to be something else we can take. So I'm holding this short, going to try to find something else that might be a good short opportunity. Micron, if DRAM, that's the thing. Micron's already gone. It's got to be something that is just wanting to start to go.
Yeah, so we, same kind of ways there. I wrote down one of the top trade ideas for me today, which I like what you're talking about there with SMCI, was to go long on SMCI if it came into 28. So that could be a bouncing spot there for sure on SMCI. Okay, we're under half. We have about 35-40% left right now because we just got 76.06. I mean, that's pretty much, that was the fill that we were kind of looking for down there. We mentioned something in and around the 76 area, and you've seen me before, we'll sit in front of something and take it out in front of a key level. So there it is at 76. I don't know if you get this way, but it must be raining. We're getting ready to absolutely have a shitstorm.
I think right at 4 o'clock.
Because my head is blowing
you start
up
to get
right
the,
now, and I start to get the low pressure. I'm trying to drink. We have a cold brew over here. I'm going to have some water going on.
You got to drink the water.
Exactly. Well, this is all water, right? There's a couple beans in there too. But other than that, water, and try to feel
this is really faded. You can't even tell it's Trader TV Live.
No, it's cool. I like that's Trader TV Live,
I love
Gangster Edition right there. But so shout out to the Weather Network. It looks like there's a huge storm coming through from what I'm hearing. All right. Oh, yeah, there you go. My wife telling me now. I'm just about to know this is a bad storm. So she just messaged to me right now that there is that.
Really?
So,
it's going to be that bad?
Shout out to Marissa if you are watching. Thank you for the update.
How's your kids? How's your wife?
And what's for dinner? We do have tonight's Gia again. Last night we were at.
Game?
She had she had hockey in Oshawa in the morning. Then she had a practice with one of her teams in Mississauga in the afternoon from 6 to basically 8, and then they hustled down to High Park, which she played again from 8 to 10. Man, she's an absolute animal when it comes to dedication and her love of sport. It's very, very proud of her. And then today she's starting up again in volleyball. So she's got, she's on the treadmill, which is skating treadmill. If I ever showed you, I went for the very first time to see her last Friday when we were off on the treadmill. Skates on, when you're skating on a treadmill, it's absolutely insane, and so very proud.
You have a video? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I'll ask. I took a small video. I might have.
I can obviously picture in my mind what it would be, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's nuts. It's on a treadmill there, going hard on that to practice her skating, and then volleyball tonight. So
volleyball.
I love volleyball too.
It's a great.
I actually think she's almost a better volleyball player than she is hockey, but she spent millions of dollars and hours on hockey. So we'll try to support that. Maybe not millions of dollars, maybe $1 million.
There you go.
There we go. So
$1 million.
everything I make goes right back to it. Hence why we are trying to use more shares on these good opportunities to support la family. I mean, think about trying. I mean, I have 3 kids and a wife, so living in Toronto, that can be. Oh, and then I have this story too to show you. Marissa just said, oh, the house that she was finally interested in went for sale, right? So she sends me this.
I love those.
Yeah, so this was something that just went for sale, and I said to her, oh, that's nice. Like, look how this house looks right here. Again, we were talking about living in Toronto. You see this price tag right down there, 3.2. I told her, yeah, I mean, we can put an offer in. You want to chop off a couple milli off of this, then we can put in an offer. But right now, big time house there. And she's like, oh, it finally went for sale. I was like, yeah, that's nice. But yeah, good house there. And look, it's 3-bed, 3-bath. Welcome to 3.2, a schmill.
That's Toronto,
right there for you in Toronto. But hey,
you could get 6 castles in Scotland for that.
Yeah, but then you have to live in Scotland, right? So, all right, let's go back over. I think it's Sia over at the desk.
I've never been. So
no, neither have
I thought you had.
As someone who is a big fan of houses, that is beautiful. I think you should consider her on that offer. So let's take a look at what's going on with the small caps right now. IWM up 1.4%. We have 2 individual tickers. I'm going to take a look at VRAX, Virax Biolabs Group. That's up 2%, shy of 100%. So that's up 98% on the day. Has announced today that it's entered into a definitive agreement for the immediate exercise of certain outstanding preferred investment options to purchase up to an aggregate of 548,000 ordinary shares of the company. RXT down 33.4%. Rackspace Technology has launched an operating framework with PLTR, Palantir, for regulated enterprises to accelerate enterprise in its AI production. And that's all for your small caps. Right back to you.
Thank you. Here it is right here.
Oh,
28 degrees. Thunderstorms. Feels like 36. So everybody that's out there that doesn't understand like the humidity and what we're talking about here, that's 36 Celsius. That's probably 100 Fahrenheit. Here's the map. So let's have a quick look at what's going on with the map right now as we go. So here we go. Yeah, this is what's happening right now. But if we stop right around here, so 4 to 5 p.m., just pretty soon, looks like we may be done. And then we go like this, and then a little bit passing through right here in T-Dot. And yeah, it looks like the worst of it, hopefully, Neil, is behind us right now. So
nice.
Anyways, that's what it's looking like there. And today, by the way, in case anybody was interested in, today is Whopper Wednesday, apparently, there. So go grab your Whopper meal for only $8.49. Go grab it at your, it's gone. What? At your local Burger King. And also check out the Wimbledon Championships live right now on TSN. And there you go. If anybody wants any sponsorships or anything like that, hit us up there as we continue to read ads for people that don't even pay us. All right. So, yeah, down to there, $76. That was a good out. Remember, I'm stopping out here if it breaks back above 50. Look, we could be wrong. That's why I was saying to you, like, your opinion sometimes doesn't even matter when it comes to stock trading. You just kind of got to look at the levels, and that came right into that level, and we were lucky enough to sit there. Thankfully, we have that bid, and we got filled. But, it just shows you how fickle some of this trading is. Like, if I don't have the bid at 06, I'm pretty sure that was it didn't even go to 05. Like, so, and I was just randomly sitting there at 06. Like, if I put in 05 or 04 or 03 or whatever it is, I mean, look at these stocks move. Like, they'll move pennies, no problem, but you're lucky enough to get that fill. So sometimes this is why, lack of hair, gray hairs, all these kind of things is because, like, pull my hair out thinking about, where to put these bids and offers and the stress of missing trades like that. So that's why sometimes when you get that instinct, and we talked about that before as well, that maybe this is going back up to the upside, cover a lot there at the 200 period, cover a lot right here into, and again, this is not even instinct. This is just looking at a chart and trying to do our best. But covering, where did it go? Yeah, right into this level right here, if you look, and that's where all these are coming from. And then 76 was just, a little lucky to get that fill. But, now the TQQ's sort of reversing there. I don't know what SMCI is doing, but you were right, I think.
That's a reversal candle.
Yeah, okay.
No, this is a reversal candle. So trailing stop goes in right now. See that 3-minute candle? With 3 minute, 5 minute, I use a 3-minute chart. Whatever you use for entries, I kind of use for the exits. So I'm going to get out if it breaks this 57 in here. I was actually going to look at Battle, but I know there's that there's that small capper that was going crazy. JHL, shoot, it was JLH. That's what it was. Thank you. JLHL, now 340%. I said I'd stay away from it because I didn't want to chase it. Well, that was wrong because you could have just apparently just punched long and it will continue to go. You could have taken any one of these halts to the upside. It's now halted again. Once again, the tap is just saying where it closed. That's what happened the last time. It did still go higher. Like, it is halting and opening higher, but it's not indicating higher. It's just saying 1353. So congratulations on this one. I was joking. Like, the last time there was a crazy runner, I joked around about how it's not going to reach a certain price because we had some viewers saying, oh, this $8 stock was going to go to 20 the next day. And then we had a joke where I was like, it's not going to happen. And then I had to eat pineapple pizza when it did. It's a fun bet to make because you guys win. So whoever's long wins, and it's fun, and I get to eat food. I would love to do something like that, but next time for good food, maybe a Whopper.
Here, how about we do? We can do a poll.
Whopper.
I mean, yeah, we just had that Whopper. I think, yeah. Why don't
I haven't had a Whopper. I have not had a Whopper since my brother was in university. I remember because I had it in Florida.
There's not as many Burger Kings around here.
Driving back when we did a road trip back from Florida, he was moving back here. That's the last time I had a Whopper. That was 20 years ago, I think.
I didn't even. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a Whopper in a second. I don't even realize what the hell's going on here with NVIDIA. It just popped through, man. And, there it goes, man. NVIDIA doing the best right now to get me all, puzzled. But nice move up to 204 one more time as there goes NVIDIA finally. The market NVIDIA and Jensen, it's only up 1.6 in a year just now joining the party. But, hey, better late than never as there's a nice little pop-up right there. Yeah, Marissa's favorite burger of all time, I think, is a Junior Whopper. So,
is it really?
Yeah, I mean, that's from what I remember there. I feel like the Big Whopper might have been too big.
I feel like most people, I don't know many people that are.
It might be a value play
like Burger
too, right?
King.
Like, I don't know. Like I said, that was a long time ago. My kid's favorite.
Give me that
Baconator.
Baconator.
I was just going to say the same thing. My son's favorite, Baron's favorite, is Baconator.
Baron's a smart cat, and he's got some taste.
So there we go.
And the Frosty on the side.
See, give me something else fast food related.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay, yeah, well, that's kind of chalk. Yeah, we love some Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A's
So Marissa actually buys the Chick-fil-A sauce.
Me too.
Like, she loves that sauce.
I can't hate on that.
You could put that ish on anything.
I'm not going to hate.
They're so genius. They actually even started getting those bottles. So they sell bottles.
That's what she buys, the bottles of sauce.
Cool.
The squeeze bottle.
Yeah.
Because whenever we were in the States, she would always we'd always say, give us the Chick-fil-A sauce, and it'll go right in the purse. There are those little packs. But yeah, shout out to Chick-fil-A. My kids love it. But you know what? Undercover a little bit, man, the Popeyes. The Popeyes chicken fingers are really great. I think they outpace the Chick-fil-A nuggets for me. Chick-fil-A is very, very basic, but very, very tasty. Hey, the lemonade.
I'm not going to. You know what? There's certain stereotypes I got no problem in leaning into. If you don't like fried chicken, then you've never eaten fried chicken or you're vegetarian.
If you're a vegetarian. Sharif's problem.
Sharif, love Sharif. We have a great team around here.
I don't mind him.
But we got fried chicken at the office from the caterer, and this guy's like, no good. I'm like, bro, it's delicious. You work out 5 times a day. You can handle it. There's protein. There's deliciousness. Enjoy yourself.
He's worried about workout maxing over there. Now we're only going to say that now because of Raider Trader.
I didn't look to see what the lunch menu was tomorrow, but it's Friday. It's SK Hynix Day. That'd be the perfect day for us to get some mac and cheese and some.
Oh, you looked already, Adara?
Yeah, I mean, I always look because I want to know if I can take it mentally and physically.
Oh, mentally?
And
what are we doing here?
Like, it's there. It's a thing. If it doesn't come during my break, I will.
Can we get? Like, look, this is our segment. We'll cry if we want to, but okay. I don't want you to ruin it. But is there a little, like, tidbit that you could give that maybe might give a hint of what tomorrow's lunch is?
Okay.
I can let you think about it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll think about it. So it is.
Oh, okay.
A region that we do trade stocks from sometimes as ADRs.
Okay.
That's
ADRs. So it's Chinese, I guess.
It's Chinese.
Okay.
But that's like the only ADRs we trade.
That was okay. Let me take you to the next level.
Guys, also we trade European ADR.
No,
we trade I trade ASML.
I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to hate on that. What I was going to get at is there noodles involved or?
I do not remember seeing noodles. Actually, no, I do remember there were no noodles.
Okay.
Well, it's not sushi because
no. Well, sushi is Japanese.
So someone just put it in the chat. That's why. No, we've had some good dumplings in the breakfast, but not for lunch.
We haven't seen
that in a while.
You know, it's going to be. It's always. I mean, pretty general. I mean, we've never had General Tao chicken. It could be that. Is this something we've had before?
You trying to make? I'm already hungry with the burger talk.
Of this. I don't know if we've had it prepared this exact way.
Sean's trying to trigger me. Sean knows exactly how obsessed I am with General Tao chicken, and now I'm
trying to.
I got a message.
Now you have to tell us it's not that. Okay, well, now we got our hopes up, and now it's not that. Okay, maybe we have a new segment here. Guess what tomorrow's lunch is today. But, okay, right now, though, we have to go. Hey, Brendan's not here. We can do what we want to. See ya. Back at the desk. Let's get an update. It's 3:30.
That was a diss on that. The SPY up very close to 1%. Let's take a look at the sectors, what's going on real quick before Juan comes here and talks about the Asian markets. So we have electric tech. We have NVIDIA trading flat, Apple up on the day almost 0.7%. The bullish momentum from all the other stocks in this sector, from AVGO, MU, S&D, KINTC, Cisco, is up. AMD also continuing, everything up in green in the day. Love to see that. Tech services, we have Google down 1.11%. Meta's up on the day, 3% now, 3.4%. Oracle up 2.7%. Netflix, Palantir, IBM continuing to slide to the downside. Microsoft trading flat at the moment. Finance, we have BRKB joining Visa and MasterCard. They're flat right now. JPM up 1.2%. BAC up 1.4%. GS 2.6%. in the green, and MS 2% in the green. We have retail trade, Amazon up 0.75%, Walmart and Costco continuing to slide. I mentioned in the happening now about Costco's reason for being down. It was down 4.5%. It's currently down 4%. Home Depot holding a bit steady, up 0.75%. TJX continuing to slide, down 1.2%. Producer and manufacturing, CAT has seemed to reverse its gains a little bit there, down 0.94%. It was up 1% earlier in the day. AMET, LRCX up 3.4% and 5.4% respectively. We have consumer durables, Tesla up 3% on the dot. We have consumer non-durables, KO, PM, PEP, PEG, PG all sliding down. KO down 1%. PG down 1.2%. We have utilities, process industries, industrial sector, and sorry about that. And we also have commercial services, all a bit of a mix over there, seeing a little bit of a red, a little bit of a green, a little bit of a gray. Nothing too crazy going on over here. Transportation, we have a lot of green that's upheld from earlier in the day. UPS and FedEx currently flat. However, Uber up 0.77% on the day. Non-energy, we have FCX holding the momentum from earlier in the day, up 5.6%, and all the other names up in the green except NUE and STLD, that's down 2.18%. Sending it back to you.
Morgan Stanley wants 250. So leave it at that.
On Morgan Stanley stock. Yeah, wow, that's pretty high.
Wants 250.
That's a good one there.
Meta's
at 630. Is that what someone just wrote in the chat?
Well, it's at 222 right now. I know. See it mentioned it. I was like, yeah, like Morgan Stanley. Bank earnings, they're right around the corner, so let's not forget about that. But the other thing to remember, the group is good. All the banks pass their stress tests, which means they're allowed. Every single time the major banks have stress tests, just remember they're going to pass them, and then they're going to be able to increase their dividends. Every single time we have major IPOs, things like SK Hynix coming to market, that's just good for Morgan Stanley. Anytime we have volatility in the markets like we do, up 2% one day, down 2%, that is good for them as well. So there's just a lot of things that are working in the space. So when the earnings come around, give it the old 2 or 3 day rule after they usually go, maybe down for the morning or down for a couple of days. Then you're off to the race. The reason I say 250 is just 190 to 210, 210 to 230, 230 to 250. Like, it's been in these $20 ranges. So if it's been doing $20 ranges, then the break of the high is look for a $20 range. So I like the banks. Actually, I think you couldn't go wrong with the XLF too. I think you can sort of be in that as well. I think that's absolutely fine. I do like the XLF. I think it's a good place to be rotated to. Even with tech rebounding today, that's fine. I still think they're pretty good in the financials.
What thing is profit maxing is Meta right now. That is up 4% there after what was a disastrous open. No, I shouldn't say open, pre-market, where some of the news was flying through there. And we talked about the new Canadian gigawatt factory there. I think it's going to get 1 gigawatt, looking up to get to a maximum of 1.8 there in Alberta. Man, this is like one of the worst headaches, man. It's really. Oh, and Ramin just came by and said, "Yeah, get that umbrella ready there, Neil." Apparently, it's not nice out there right now. But yeah, there goes Meta, just absolute moon city right there. And by the way, money. I mean, we're trying. I put another bid. Oh no, I put that bid there at 16. I should put another one. Let's just put another random one over here at 06, and we'll see if that. Let's go to 07, and we'll see if that fills. Right now, only a third left, though. You know, we started to get out on the way down because we are now 14 minutes away from this, the imbalances, and when those come through, whoa, JP Morgan is sell. Did you cover that already? No.
What?
Yeah, big sell for JP Morgan.
Maybe I should check the notes
today. I don't really know why that's there for 3 million. We never see anything like this.
I don't think I've ever seen JP Morgan outside of like an index rebalance data.
Yeah, like I'm not super concerned about it, but it's just like it's only done 4.2 million shares today.
Let's look it up.
You know, there's no way it should have like a 3.2 million share sell on it. But remember, these names will get paired off, and that could easily be gone by the time, you know, we're ready to open back or 350 happens. So, you know, keep an eye on that one. And the one thing that we always keep an eye on at this time of day, of course, is the Asian markets. And I think it should be an exciting night as everyone gets prepared for SK Hynix. So let's go back over to the desk, find out the report here from one Anadera regarding the Asian markets.
Just under half an hour until the American markets close, but as we know, that's not the only market out there. It's time to take a look at the vast world of Asian markets with one. Let's kick it off.
Thank you, Adara. Before I start, I'm guessing if tomorrow is Asian, we might have chicken teriyaki or maybe sweet and sour fish. I was wrong. There is. All right, let's talk about the Asian markets. Overnight tech bounce, pretty much reviving Asia's battered semiconductor hubs. We saw a lot of, after so many days of liquidations, we got SK Hynix climbing up by nearly 6%, Samsung up by 0.3%. Even some Japanese names, those equipment makers, they're making a comeback. Advantes advancing nearly 6%. Tokyo Electron up by 5.5%. Great stuff, seeing all the AIs and chips making a comeback in Asia. We even saw in Shanghai, they rose by about 1.65%, and that was boosted by a $4 billion capital raise from AI champion Zippu. So that was some interesting news overnight. But let's focus our attention on the open. Of course, everyone's eyes on SK Hynix tomorrow. That's going to be a huge deal. We got to basically keep an eye out for Kospi. Ahead of their debut, check if institutional pre-positioning triggers a short squeeze before that announcement is made, or if there's any macro noise forcing the sell the fact breakdown instead of sell the news. All right. But if we move over to India, the Nifty 50, it could challenge their 24,100 resistance. There's a lot of rotation plays into defensive plays such as pharma, healthcare, as well as telecom stocks. We saw some big names such as Sun Pharma and Bharti Airtel. They were up more than 2% today, so they might make a huge bid tomorrow as well. And in Taiwan, all right, Taipei order books, there was some debt warnings. Their governor, Yang Qing-long, they warned against retail investors piling mortgage margin as well as credit debt into AI. So watch for any localized broker leveraging as well as institutional events of that 45,200 support level. So a lot of stuff to take in, but I think everyone's eye is going to be on SK Hynix tomorrow. We'll see how that plays out.
Well said. We'll have to check out SK Hynix tomorrow, but maybe before or after, depending on when that IPO goes live. You'll see one at this desk at 11:30 a.m. to talk the European markets. We'll send you back over to the guys.
Thank you, Juan. It is going to be epic tomorrow, one way or another. Like I think we should have the same level of anticipation as we do for a regular IPO, just understanding it's not exactly the same thing, probably open a little bit more promptly. That's an understatement. It'll be much more promptly than a regular IPO. That is for sure. And remember, we talked about it with Raider, but we've sort of been hinting at it.
I'm going to find out when Baba opened.
Just try to remember the sympathy names are perfectly good place too. If you don't like trading the big IPO name, then and you're accustomed to DRAM or Micron or SNDK and that's your bag, those are fine too. The same way SpaceX came around and you could have easily just been trading in Rocket Labs. Virgin Galactic was a fantastic opportunity to go short instead of SpaceX long. So, there's something for everybody. It's going to be a big one. I did double check in our notes at Real Trading to see if there was anything actually specifically going on for JP Morgan. There isn't. I didn't suspect there would be, but there isn't. I think it's very likely to pair off, but 3 million shares on JP Morgan is going on to the side chart for me. It's only done 4 million on the day. 10 minutes till the imbalances come in. I've moved the trailing, whoops, I meant to hit enter. I moved the trailing stop to 28.5 on SMCI. So the closer we get to the imbalances, I think I've canceled the order. If it gets back to VWAP, it'll be an imbalance trade anyway. So we'll wait until the other side of the imbalances to do something else with that as well. And for those, I saw someone in the chat asking, is NVIDIA buy or sell? NVIDIA trades on the NASDAQ. So when we get the early look for the closing imbalances, that's on the NYSE or formerly the AMEX. I'd say AMEX because I'm an old head. NASDAQ stocks, you don't get an early look at 350. You see it one way or the other. The early look comes from the NYSE floor, and the AMEX does the same thing. And then we see the real numbers at 350 on all of the exchanges. So the reason we're able to show you this on JP Morgan is because they actually have that in the floor handheld system. And if there was an indicator on the NASDAQ, believe me, we'd love to have it to get an early look on some of those. Like, how good would that have been on that Tesla? Well, I mean, SpaceX wasn't that big when it went in, but I remember Tesla was gigantic. I mean, an early look would have been pretty cool for that when it went to the S&P 500.
I have some pretty bad news for you. Both Alibaba and Coupang both opened up 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Oh, man, I was thinking like 11 maybe.
I mean, look, this is the last major Korean name that IPO'd, or I guess direct listed over here as an ADR, CPNG Coupang. So I went all the way back to its date of March 11th, 2021. Thank you to eSignal for this data. You could see this is what Coupang did. So
that looks lovely.
Yeah, and they were considered, I think Coupang, I'd have to look this up, but I think they're like the Amazon or something, where they were considered like the Amazon. It was $5 billion they came to market with. And of course, SK Hynix tomorrow is coming with $28 billion. But yeah, $5 billion was a lot there. Coupang just, and I don't know about these wicks. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart, but I don't think they're probably not real. Up to 70 and then down to 59. But at the end of the day, those wicks look the same to me. So I think that's just not it. But opens up, I would say $64 is probably the IPO price right there. And even if we zoom in, that top 64.15, something like that. Oh no, we would have opened up here. 63.50. Okay, so 63.50 looks like it does close 64. So there was, you're not gonna be super happy with a 50-cent bump, but if you don't get out, then this is potentially the downside. So
you've got to, if you go long these IPOs, or it doesn't really matter. You go long them at the open.
I don't know if I will.
You better have a stop.
Yeah, well, yeah. And if
I'm not treating this like a traditional IPO.
No, I don't think this is like that. Like a SpaceX thing. We'll have to see what the hype is, right? I mean, join us tomorrow. We'll see what the level 2 looks like, what the tap is, and that's a theoretical opening auction price. So we'll be able to see when it's going to open, what it's going to open, and what pricing looks like.
Last price we heard was 160, but that doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's really stay tuned in the morning, and we'll be giving you.
Though I think
they did move it down.
Might have even been coming down.
Oh, so coming down. I don't want to see that.
I'm confused. So what I saw was what people had converted based on how many, I guess, of the South Korean currency, which I believe is one that they thought it was going to go for. That translated to between 158 and 162, I think, or 166 US dollars. But now I'm seeing they're pricing it at 149. Now the 149 has not been confirmed, so we don't know that yet. But either way, that's still oversubscribed. But it would be a little bit of a downgrade from what people were initially saying. So I'm confused. We're all confused. When we get more details, I'll keep you posted.
You know what is worth mentioning? Remember for SpaceX, what was kind of happening there is it was getting lower, but it was a sell imbalance, and then they dropped the price down until it was a buy imbalance, and then it did shoot up. So I think maybe it's a situation like that. They're going to price it where they'll be buying off of the open.
Yeah.
So I don't want to completely write off. We generally don't like it as much when you're dropping the price, but we can resolve that tomorrow. We'll see. We'll have the early, like in that particular case, we will be able to see the imbalances. Just like I'm showing the locator here, you're gonna see HK Hynix. It'll be up there. once you get a quote, you'll be able to see whether it's a buy and balance, the open interest, and how much paired volume it is. It doesn't necessarily help you with the time that it's going to open, but it'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, let's just hope it opens up in good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm whatever. If 12 o'clock isn't that bad. We've seen 1:30, so I'm not going to complain too much. It opens when it opens. I just feel like it'd be nice to be able to do one of these before lunch instead of waiting all day long, because it's such an exciting event and everyone just wants the liquidity. You're sitting around maybe not even wanting to trade a Micron because you're waiting for SK Hynix to come in, and then all of a sudden you're waiting till 1:30. By the way, Micron just broke 1,000 again to the downside. Jeez. 5% up, but heading lower. This is dragging everything down with it here. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna hold on to our short at least until 28.5. If it bounces to the upside, I don't want to have that up. Still nothing too crazy on the early look. We've seen NU before, 1 million. Pfizer's way too liquid for a 1.1 million buy to mean anything. SCHO, not familiar with. What is that? Oh, that's a U.S. Treasury ETF. Okay, never mind. I see .am. We see the numbers that get put up and kind of think maybe there could be something, but no, that's a Treasury play that doesn't do any movement, so that's probably insignificant. So really just JP Morgan, and obviously every single memory chip name probably in play for the close.
Yeah, we'll be excited to see if there's any memory names moving around here into, like we just said, into the close here today. I'm still into NVIDIA, but just really small, now $5, and it's blown up higher than this. So, we'll wait to see about an imbalance. Very, very light for me trading right now. Because we're getting closer and closer, look, I would love to still support, this TQQ short, but the theory was that it was going to break and go lower. It broke and went lower, so we're out. Like right now, I have 20% left of this trade. We got another dip down there. We got 13s, or 16s, sorry, and then we got 21s or 22s, and we just took another fill here at 32. So, we could do that again if we really did want to, but we'll just hold off now and wait to see what the next shoot a drop is, and that's going to be the imbalances. So my stop is still at 50. Hopefully that comes in, and we're able to, take the trade and a successful one back down lower. So we have no idea what that's going to do. Intel, not doing anything. All right, it was Meta. I just got a note about Intel, but it's not doing anything. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. Meta, I meant to type. There it is, Meta. Yeah, wow. Sneezing and exploding to the upside there. And Meta just 630. It just touched out at 629.50. Like I did not think after the way today looked that Meta was down for this. But nice move higher there on Meta. And we'll just have to wait to see what happens tomorrow. I'm really, as a current shareholder, I said I wanted to get out. So I still think that theory would be there. Tomorrow in and around that 640, I mean, that would be 635 or so, I think is a decent spot to get out of at least some of the Meta and then just rethink about it. And hey, man, if it moons, we're still going to hold on to some of it. But right now, Meta trying to do the best it can, to break above and then get that trend back to the upside. We consider and say whatever we want to, again, like our opinions and all this about Meta. But, look what it's done. It was just back there in June the 26th. This is a $540 name. It's added $100 on its head right there. So, that's a nice move. Let's call it 90. Nice move to the high side there for Meta. So, you can't really complain about it if you've been invested over the last month or so as we try to take out some more highs right here on META. And it was just a good call, I think, by anybody that, wanted to support the stock. A stock that I'm hoping gets some support. And believe me, I probably have 10% of my portfolio worth in Netflix as opposed to Meta, but that's had a decent recovery, trying to battle off those 70 lows, now back to 75. We'll see if it gets as high as $80 there. Netflix, another name that's pretty interesting, 2.5 minutes until the imbalances.
Oh yeah, Netflix is interesting, but for not good ways at all. Its chart looks like this morning you were talking about the telecommunication names. That's what those charts look all very, very similar. Joe's not here. I just looked over. Joe's active in the chat right now. So I look over and like, oh, hey, what's up, Joe? And he's not here, but he is active in the chat. What up, Joey Options? Very, very curious. I know what. He's off tomorrow, so he's missing out on SK Hynix Day.
Why is he off, by the way? Did he ever tell anybody?
I don't know.
He keeps saying he's going to the nation's capital, so he's doing something that he's not specified in Ottawa that will involve nature. But the way he's wording it is going to the nation's capital.
Okay, if Joe could speak French, he could be our next prime minister. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening there. Shout out to Ottawa. What a great couple of my friends are in Ottawa right now. There's another hockey thing going on there, so it never stops. I'm in Canada, which is just outside of Ottawa, end of the month, and that, of course, is for baseball. So we're going to be there at the end of the month. Find me in the mean streets of Canada, Ontario.
The mean streets.
Yeah, home of the Daniel Alfredson less, because he's now with the Maple Leafs. Ottawa Senators.
That's just kind of weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's weird that he's
like from anyone that doesn't understand this, the Toronto Maple Leafs added to their staff a player who is quite possibly one of their biggest rivals ever, and is completely hated. Like, not probably respected as a player, but absolutely hated by Toronto fans. I'm not a huge hockey guy, but even I know, like, now Daniel Alfredson, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know, that was a weird one.
I'm like, what? Don't we hate this guy? Because he beat up on us. Anyways, 1 minute to go to the imbalances. I tightened up the stop and could have held it to the imbalances, but a couple of green candles will jump out and hop out of SMCI. It's actually up today, and it's one of those stocks that is a trend break. That said, it was just a short for the afternoon. That's all. I still think it's one that made a reversal. It just happened to not break out that top at 29. Could be another breakout tomorrow for that name. So JP Morgan still saying early look of 3.3 million. It's not like that's going anywhere. We'll get to find out in 15 seconds whether that sell on JP Morgan is legit, because that's a pretty decent number. 3.3 million into a $330 stock is not chump change.
No. No, we're going to see very
5 seconds to go here.
Yeah, what's going to happen. And I'm putting some bids now. A little lower on the TQs in case it does spike right there. We can go over it. Okay, wow. Yeah, nice move down lower, man. These must be sells.
Intel sell.
There we go, man. We'll do this because we want to. But yeah, man, nice move down. Sometimes it is in our favor, and today it is, that's for sure. Nice downside take here for the market, and Adair's going to have those numbers in a minute. 835 million to sell. Looks like Intel's a sell. JP Morgan flips over to a buy, so that got paired off real quick. So look at what happens to
Oh my! You couldn't have.
JP Morgan. Boom, boom. There it gets down on the imbalance, and people are like, "Wait a second, it's now a bid." So we watch out for JP Morgan. And where was it? Somewhere here. I don't even see it anymore. I saw Marvell as a sell, so that's taking a little bit lower. Only now up that 5%, so we can definitely have a quick look at Marvell.
Microsoft's a buy.
Microsoft's a buy. Oh, there's our Netflix.
DraftKings is a buy.
Yeah, Netflix up to the high side. So what was it? 835 to sell right now. Okay.
Why is it? What's making it a sell? I'm trying to figure out. I mean, Intel's 2 million, but that's not that big of a deal, is it? With Microsoft being a buy in there, not really seeing Marvell. Marvell's a sell.
Yeah,
Marvell's something. SMR. Now that's from earlier. No, nothing too crazy. Bitcoin, small buy.
Wow, that JP Morgan was pretty dirty.
Oh, that's.
I mean, that's why it's so tough to
the algos. The problem with that is by the time you register that it's not that sell imbalance, it used to be you might be able to punch that through VWAP, like 50 cents into the move. Now the algos. And you're probably punching in the top end and trying to grab 20 cents instead of 70. So that trade is more or less dead. I like the 55 reversion a little bit better. I'm glad, even though I saw a bunch of sells, I didn't see I'm going to assume SMCI must have been a buy because it would have stopped me out regardless the last little bit. That is a nice little bounce play. And I do want to, I know we're going to be all about SK Hynix tomorrow. Primarily, that's going to be a big deal. But we have to wait for it. Based on Sean's research, we could be waiting for 11 o'clock or possibly later. As long as we still see nothing, and it's been nothing
it was not the most in-depth research. I mean, I looked up two.
Yeah, but what else? What other names are you going to look up?
Okay,
you got to look up the last one.
I'm going to look up ARM.
No, look,
ARM was September of 23, so that's more recent.
IPO, direct listing, ADR. The idea is that you're not trading it at 9:30 in the morning is what we're really getting at. We still have a morning to get through, and I want to be looking at some
I still think there's a world
names.
where it opens up pretty early. I mean,
it's not impossible.
Maybe they just got it figured out, right?
I'm not trying to get my hopes up, man.
No, I'm not trying to either.
At all.
ARM was September.
The reason why we make a big deal out of it is if you know that possibly the biggest liquidity or like a stock you're going to risk the most on for like the month or the week or something, if that's the trade. As a trader, you sit there and having to wait all day for it instead of usually something like that will be at the open. It's a bit frustrating.
Yep.
That said, I'm going to be looking at oil and CCL. No, I want no headlines over the night. Nothing good, nothing bad will be good enough, and this one's a continuation. Obviously, if we get some bad headlines overnight, you got to throw that out the window. So I'm hoping for some quiet action. That'd be nice. No tweets. No bombs going off, nothing like that.
Oh, there'll be bombs going off, but yeah, it would be. It doesn't seem that the market cares that much about it, really, to be honest with you. So, yeah, hopefully we don't get too much in the way of issues when peace is concerned. But yeah, all right. So with only 7 minutes left now, Nvidia downside. We have a very, very small piece left. I'm going to exit that trade here. Okay, there it is at 59. We're out there on Nvidia, and then we'll just watch out, man. I mean, this is getting lower right into our spot again. I still have that. Actually, I don't. I got to put it back. I want to put an 08. My stupid drink is in the way. We'll put an 08 out there for the TQs, and we'll get it going. See what happens. It just went down to 08 again, 09. So a little bit of a move down. There it is. Give me at 08 there. We'll see if we can get that, and then ring the register for a short there. Oh, a short there in the market. What else is up there? Oh, what's up? What? Easy peasy. Normally this guy's super chatting a percentage of what he made, and that's a big number.
Easy
right
peasy.
There. 3 days behind. 10K. What? 10K this week?
Holla. Trying to dissect the rest of it.
Okay. This week with app. Is your app? So I think he was creating.
I know you're creating that app.
So that's live now. Integration with ChatGPT, I guess. Using signals from Katina Man. Send me. You got to send me a little bit more, or something other than. Okay. Anyways, bots contact me for information. Yeah, there it is. So what's up, man? Sean, appreciate the use and the approval of the bot. Yeah, no problem. Right there. Legal letters coming to you soon, my guy. But no, that is great. And speaking of the devil, no, I don't have anyone phoning me. But yeah, that's great. Easy peasy. Look, man. I mean, I hope that I'm not making 10K this week. So big shout out to you, man. And doing the best work for you and your family. Really happy and proud of that. And, glad that I can I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but glad I can contribute there to your success. So shout out to Mr. Easy Peasy. 10K this week, and it's only Thursday. So don't blow it all. Tomorrow we'll be sitting here safely trading, hopefully SK Hynix and a few other names tomorrow, as you can see. But yeah, congrats, man. That's a big one there for the Easy Peasy.
Definitely. It might have been maybe some shorts on SpaceX, I'm going to guess. I don't know. It's hard to imagine. But with only 4 minutes to go, they're already getting the selling started early. Micron just made another jaunt down. $10 since the imbalance. I didn't see a sell imbalance there on that name, but we do have now a sell imbalance on Nokia. I know some people were asking about that earlier. It's still up 8%, but it is pulling back off of some of the highs. Yeah, sometimes you have a rule, put a trail, and you might get trailed out right when the imbalances come out. That's exactly what happened, but SMCI is going to end up closing at the lows. This might be a continuation tomorrow. We'll see. If the idea is to continue to sell chip names going into SK Hynix tomorrow, then this one was mostly trend down, and we might look for a little bit more of that. So Nokia on watch. I don't think that's going to hold up. 1.2 million. The problem with Nokia, 1.2 million, now that I'm actually thinking about this, is no. Nokia has done 90 million shares today. Nokia is not the stock. It didn't used to do volume like this, but I'm not remembering. 89 million shares of volume, 1.2 million is useless. It might move a couple of pennies at best. Joe, Trader TV Live cold brew black when you roll into the office Monday morning, please and thanks. So you're asking Ramin for cold brew, Joe.
I mean, I got cold brew here. This had almond.
Get your own
this
cold
had almond
brew.
Milk in it, but it's gone.
Right
now. I told Ramin Starbucks second cup there has it for $3. So
I love the cold brew.
Shout out to that.
I love the cold brew. It's a great look. There we go. Easy peasy. There's a real super chat.
This integration cold brew. He had one this morning, by the way, Joe. So.
With TTV proof. Integration with TTV proof.
Yeah. What's up, Easy Peasy? There's another $2 there. Yeah, we could. You could always hit us up, send us something if you want to try to get more involved with something. But I don't really know where we would go with it all. Right there, we always say it to everybody, man. Like, we'll give you some ideas. Make sure you guys, understand the risk, the parameters. We are flat at the end of every single day, and we're trading real stocks.
No
These aren't like CDRs or anything like that, or ADR. Well, they are.
Well, ADRs, yeah.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for. The what some of those other companies offer. Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember what they're called now. Not CDRs. Now I screwed myself up calling them CDRs. Anyways, we don't trade options or anything like that.
I know what you mean.
It's when the companies make basically synthetic shares of a company. what are they called? Anyway.
I don't want to say
CFDs.
Yeah,
CFDs.
The problem with CFDs is oftentimes I'm not going to out any firms or anybody about it, but a lot of times, if you are trading in CFDs, who is issuing them is very likely benefiting from you losing. They don't want you to win. If they have the other side of it, you're not trading with the actual market. It's just a totally different ballgame, man. And you always got to be really cautious out there because there's a lot of people that want you to. There's people out there that want you to lose money. We're just being real, and you should have a broker or someone that you're trading through that when you make money, like if you trade at a prop firm, like if you get a percentage of the trading. So the prop firm makes money when you make money. With the CFD game, that is not how it works at all. Sometimes they make it really difficult for you to get the money out. 1 minute to go here. Obviously, it's been a good day for the market. We got to 30,000. We did get to 2%, I believe, but we didn't actually hold on to it. 1.5 for the NASDAQ. I don't know why I still have the imbalance indicator up. Who cares about that? Maybe I'll throw up Micron in the final minute because it's trying to make a bounce. It's the proxy. We can't look at SK Hynix, but we can look at Micron because it is going to be in play. A monster ADR coming to market with SK Hynix tomorrow at some point, and you can expect to see some fireworks, whether it's in DRAM, whether it's in SNDK, whether it's in Micron. Certainly, we're going to be looking at SK Hynix primarily as the mover, and we're pretty excited for it. Yeah, when I always call you Mini-Me Joe there, and I'm sometimes in the chat when I'm off, but glad to have you in the chat there, Joe. Yeah, and Joe, just an FYI there, I might stop at this new store I just found out, Farm Boy. What's up to VinFast right there, ticker VFS, your global intelligent mobility company. I want to thank them for sponsoring not only the opening bell, but this closing bell right there. We used to have a closing bell that would drop down, and I think it would be kind of cool if that came back, but it would be, it'd be kind of cool if it went right back. It's right there.
Yeah, I know where it is.
We just can't use it.
I'm saying, like, let's
we've been told we can't use it.
Right now, standing there, Sia could ring the closing bell every single day. I mean, would you be down for that, Sia? No, not now. It's already closed. I'm just saying that bell up top. I mean, you can't jump and hit that.
Show us a hot.
No, that's too much. Put your hand up. Let me see how high that. Ooh, no. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Okay.
You'd be starting for the Toronto Temple if you could do that.
Yeah. Do you know who the Toronto Temple are there, Sia? No, I don't blame you. It's our new WNBA team, the Toronto Tempo.
Really do.
No, you don't need to, but yeah, it might be exciting.
They have a great atmosphere. The kids get into it. Like,
come on, man. I mean, we're season ticket holders for the female hockey team, and no better.
They know what they're doing. They know how to drum up. They know how to drum up support and make sure the kids have fun when they're going to watch it. Because that's the most important thing, man. Like, I'd rather watch the Raptors, but my daughter would love going to watch.
We just give our we bring friends to all the games every single time. It's a lot of fun.
I watch the females badminton matches. I like badminton and tennis.
I like badminton too. Yeah, tennis.
Really fun.
Good there over there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, shout out to female sports, of course, as my daughter's off. I'll get that video. I didn't pay attention to that. Yeah, I should have found that video for you guys. Volleyball tonight, but yeah, it's pouring rain outside. So, hey, man, stay dry wherever you are. Join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. Big shout out Tiffany. Thank you for everything today. One is over there. Thank you for everything he's done. Andre as well. Fabian, Ramin, all the best. Michael, thanks for looking into the quote issue for us.
It's getting better.
He's not listening over there. Randy, thank you for being here. Oh, yeah, Randy's not here anymore. Thanks to Sharif and Joe. Well, both those guys are gone. And the two that are still behind us, of course, two most important names in the business there, Sia and Adara. Thank you so much for everything that you guys continue to do for us. Adara's still working despite the market being closed.
There's always an infographic to be made.
That's it. You don't have anything outdoors tonight because it'll be canceled.
No, but usually when we don't have activities,
I'm glad we played
Aaron gets excited for the kids to play in the yard and stuff, which is not going to be happening.
No. Wow, Sia is tall. Sia's probably Adara, I believe, is taller than Sia.
Are you?
What did I do here? Oh God!
No, it doesn't
Adara's
matter.
like, forget it. I'm doing work over here. But yeah,
I'm 5'7", so I'm not too tall.
5'7". That's actually taller than I think the average female. So you are right there in the chat for sure. Yeah, the average male 5'9". Yeah. So in North America. But all right, thanks very much. It's 4:02. We'll see everybody on the flip side 8 a.m. tomorrow. Ciao.
Peace.